heck is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Kinda Funny Xcast, your home for all things Xbox here at Kinda Funny. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Snowbike Mike, and today I am joined by both of my gaming dads and one very special guest. You see him in the middle if you're watching or if you're listening. It's the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, joining the Xcast today. Phil, we'll start with you. What up, homie? How are you?
Truth be told, I've had easier a couple of weeks. But it'll be a good discussion today. I'm always happy to come on, talk to Xcast. You guys do an amazing job talking to the community, keeping it real. So it's an honor to be on with you guys.
Phil, of course, you have been on a number of Kinda Funny content, but this is the first time you have joined us with the Xcast here with the Green Team, so we appreciate your time and being here with me and my two gaming dads. Of course, I'll go around the room. Paris Lilly, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, and as you already said, thank you, Phil, for coming on this episode. Greg Miller, instead of going on your show, finally he is on the actual Xbox show for Kinda Funny, so I'm very excited and appreciative of that. Looking forward to the conversation.
Big deal. Gary Witta, you have a green juvie today. You're feeling the green.
Yeah, this kiwi strudel, not my favorite flavor, I don't think, but it was the only one you had in the fridge. You know, the price was right, so I grabbed one.
You love a free energy drink.
You know me, LG. I don't care what it is. If it's free.
I'm happy you're back, Gary. We have a really fun conversation and discussion to be had with you and the team. I see you got your book. Why don't you plug that book really quick for
Oh, no, I didn't bring this in to plug it. I just had a spare copy. I was going to give it to someone. But no, Gundog, we actually had a small change in the publishing date. Comes out August 1st. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere quality books are sold.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're just bringing the book around now. I like that.
Just
You don't
carry
want
it
to
around,
promote it.
yeah.
You just carry the book around.
Yeah.
All right. Good for you. I like that. Well, of course, this is the Kinda Funny Xcast. We post each and every Thursday at 6 a.m. West Coast, Best Coast time on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, podcast services around the globe, and, of course, on roosterteeth.com. Don't forget, we are now Epic Games partners, which means you can support the team in a brand new way. If you're buying games off the Epic Games store, if you're upgrading your look in Fortnite, Rocket League, or Fall Guys, don't forget to use our Epic creator code Kinda Funny at checkout. And of course, we love to shout out those who support us over on Patreon to help keep the lights on here in the spare bedroom. If you're over on Patreon, thank you for, of course, watching live with multiple of our shows. We're not doing this episode live, but thank you for your support. And thank you to our Patreon producers for the month of May, Delaney Twining. Thank you for your support. This week, the Kinda Funny Xcast is sponsored by Honey and Rocket Money, but myself and the team will tell you all about that in just a little bit. Let's get to the show. We get to hang out with Phil Spencer. It's going to be a fun time together. Phil, let's just jump right into it. And it's a tough way to start this episode. It's my birthday this week, and I didn't want to have to do it like this. But, Phil, it's been a tough week in the Xbox universe. As you know, of course, the CMA kind of blocking our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, and Redfall coming out to poor reviews at the launch. Let's start off at the top. Phil, let's talk about the CMA and, of course, this Activision Blizzard acquisition. How are you feeling about this? What should be the overall mindset for Xbox gamers when we look at this after months and months of conversation?
I don't know if I'm going to be a fan favorite after this show, but at this point, this is what it's all about. It's about truth over feelings. It's about recapping a whole generation. It's about understanding some things that never get told. It's about being overall truthful in the matter. To everybody that did not see this interview today, or that was already previously done, you'll get a chance to understand why we where we're at right now. At the best possible way that I can explain it, I was going in by myself today because I don't even want to be interrupted. That's the beautiful thing about having your platform, when your vision is to speak to your community. Then my good brother here wanted to be a part of this because I speak to him the most. I speak to him a lot. And I've noticed that he gets a lot of criticism for shooting straight. He naturally shoots straight. I got a chance to know him. I've probably known him on some more personal levels within a year. He's actually been supporting me longer than I've ever known him. He's always paid attention to the channel. He's always considered me one of the real ones, and I appreciate him for that. We're both from Texas. We met each other, and that's what the Xbox community does. There's some things that got to be talked about that you might not like, that you might not feel needs to be said, or you might like, and you might think the things that need to be said. But y'all seen me do these kind of shows before where when there's a big uprise, this is when you gotta rise to the occasion. But we can sit here and act like we didn't see these things coming because we're gonna act all of a sudden like we have amnesia. We can play the social media route, or we can play the reality route. Now, I myself been out here in these Xbox streets for almost 23 years. Nobody can tell me anything about the Xbox community, how it got here, how it grew, and what it stands for. Xbox has always stood for gaming. Its creation is gaming. But today, it's about talking. Truth be told, we've lost our identity. And the identity that we lost it to is from the community that does a lot of talking. You, Xbox community, I blame. Because I wasn't here in the beginning when all the well, I wouldn't even say most, but when the Xbox community decided, some of the Xbox community, matter of fact, let's just keep it real, right? A small portion of the Xbox community decided to go on social media. And when it got out there, it really didn't know how to defend itself. And so while y'all was out here thinking things is cute, funny, you let people come in that did not really like the community, that had other motives about gaming, that once things became about YouTube and talks, it became about their platform. And the very same things that they hate, they depend on. So they depend on you, the viewer. They depend on you, the subscriber. And they depend on you, the follower. So all these people that we would point the finger at, like Tony Montana, right? There's no kingpin that cannot be a kingpin without its suppliers. Then without its customers. That's how this thing works. Y'all got y'all's leader out here looking down bad because y'all allowed people with platforms to talk for y'all. While y'all thought it was funny and cute to have all them little silly wars, look at y'all today. Y'all thought it was cute waste a lot of time jabbing back at each other. Look at y'all today. What did we learn? Looks like we didn't learn much of nothing. Because when you look at where that interview was played at, we didn't learn too much. 2013, I didn't need Phil Spencer to come out and tell me that the Xbox One was the worst generation. I already knew that. The whole interview that Phil Spencer said, he didn't have to say that. To real Xbox fans, we already knew that. So who is Phil Spencer really talking to? He's talking to the ones that were asking him questions. But see, real Xbox fans don't have to ask Phil Spencer questions like those questions, because those questions were obvious. They got answers to them. We wasn't out here saying that Redfall needed to be delayed. We wasn't out here at the beginning of the year asking Xbox, where's the dates for your games? We didn't put pressure on Xbox. We wait till one thing happens, and the Xbox community allows this, but you wait for one thing to go bad, and then it's time for Xbox to bag it up. How many times y'all gonna keep letting the media and other these goalpost movers and these double agents to sway your community? We even got them where if you say something good about Redfall, they call you stupid. Now, this is from the same community that doesn't even buy games. The same community where the president comes out and says they don't buy games. This is the community that you let sway your community. You want Xbox to be like PlayStation. Xbox isn't and never will be like PlayStation. Because if Xbox was like PlayStation, we would have a lot of failed things out here. We have so many failed things that Xbox probably wouldn't be around. But you notice that there's a double standard where Sony can fail at multiple times, Xbox can't. Realist, I have a mic for you, brother. I appreciate you being here. And I want people to properly understand you today as a straight shooter and as somebody who's always been a strong force in this community. And I'm honored to have met you, to know you, and thank you for coming on the show today, bro. I really appreciate it. So that was my introduction. I'm gonna let you get the mic, and I want you and say what you need to say, bro. And then I still got a lot to say. I got off today, y'all, and I wanted the shadow drop.
Yeah, it's good. No, I appreciate you at least noticing me in the comment section, right? First it was the comment section, then it was the live chats, and you're like, man, would you say the community needs to hear from you, brother? So here I am. But nah, man, going back to, I guess, the topic at hand with this this interview with Phil Spencer. The more that I'm involved with this gaming community, especially the Xbox community, the more I take into account that there really aren't that many real Xbox fans out there. The more people talk, the more they expose themselves as not really being Xbox fans. And that goes from your favorite YouTubers, your favorite Twitter people or personalities, all the way down. And I mean, at first it was a little disappointing, man, because like, as a lot of people know, I mean, I haven't been on this whole social media gaming community for that long, and people like you have been doing it for what, 10 years. So you've seen it, you paid attention to people, you know who is and who isn't, and you're like, man, watch out for that guy, ignore that guy. And I'm like, well, I mean, he seems like a cool guy. But man, I've gone from being disappointed to just disregarding pretty much most people that say that they're Xbox fans, because they all say the same things, they all complain about the same things, and they just show their hands. And I've always said this, and the Xbox people, they would get mad at me for saying this. It's like, look, Xbox community is not as big as we think it is, and there are not a lot of real Xbox fans. The real Xbox fans, we would be considered the underground. See, these people with the big, huge followings, they really just waiting for the opportunity to jump off, right? They're waiting for the opportunity to criticize Xbox for something. Look, if you don't like Redfall, that's up to you. Hey, say what you don't like about it. Say what they can improve. If you really, are interested in seeing the game get better, then move on. How long are we going to talk about this? Because I'm on this game and I don't have any trouble finding people that actually want to play. And guess what? None of these people are on Twitter. They don't watch YouTube videos. But when you decided that you want to do this YouTube show, I had a guy's like, man, I'm about to do a YouTube show. It's like a YouTube show about what? I said, gaming, man. He said, y'all talk about games on YouTube? I was like, yeah. I said, you don't watch videos, you don't watch Twitch, you don't know about anything about these things? He was like, yeah, but I wouldn't be able to keep up with any of that, man. I just want to play the games. And that's my issue when it comes to this whole community, this whole commentary style of gaming that we do. We got a lot of people that do more commentating versus actually getting on the sticks and playing games. But just paying attention to this community, I don't see a whole lot of Xbox fans out here. I don't see a lot of Xbox strong guys out here. Cause see, I hate to kind of compare this to a war, but if this is a quote unquote console war, but this is the best example I can come up with off the top of my head right now. Ukraine is very small compared to Russia, but they will fight for it. And there's nothing that Russia can tell them that makes them want to move off their square. And what I see with a lot of these people when it comes to Xbox, all it takes is a couple ponies and YouTubers to tell them, or what's the new term going around? Pony bots, right? These people that are green on the outside, blue on the inside, to come out and say something, and it'll waver their confidence. Because guess what? This is what I know about this Xbox community. This is what I know about even the PlayStation community. They weren't Arcane fans until Xbox bought them. So now this is a first-party game, and it doesn't score too well. We don't even talk about the times that Arcane had games that scored well. They were in the 80s and one in the 90s. We don't talk about that. We're going to talk about Redfall. We're going to forget all about the fact that how when Xbox came out with Sea of Thieves, it was more of a platform, a canvas-style game where they would allow the community to help them flesh the game out, and look at where that game is today. This is what I see with Redfall. Now, it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to get that refund before your 2 hours is up, right? Because you can always refund it and come back later. But this game is going to be built out. You know that if you did like it enough to keep it, not refund your $70, that Xbox isn't going to just drop the game. The Xbox isn't going to just say to Arcane, hey, go find something else to do. Forget this game. It doesn't exist anymore. But you had some things you want to talk about when it came to Phil Spencer in this interview. And there's a lot of stuff to say about that, but it's hard to really be disappointed anymore because I'm not surprised when it comes to these so-called Xbox fans, when it comes to their critique with Xbox. Xbox has pretty much told you everything that they're about to do, but at the end of the day, we're still not happy, and we can't find any happiness in gaming unless the ponies give us their approval. Right? You can't go to Twitter, so you're mad at Xbox because now you can't go on Twitter and stick your chest out. That's a you problem. There's nothing that a fake Xbox fan or PlayStation fan can tell me that's going to make me say, no, I don't like Xbox no more. I'm going to sell my Xbox. And that's the issue that I have with a lot of these people that are supposedly Xbox fans on social media, YouTube, whatever. I consider this social media because a majority of the interaction is going to be in the comment sections and in the live chats. So this is the same way of interaction, social media. Man, League, what are you doing, bro?
I'm just talking to the chit chat community, man. I hear everything you're saying, brother, because it's about to go down. Shout outs to the whole chit chat community, man. JJ, Six Slayer, Radiance 96, Smitty Smith, Malik Weeks, man, Dirt, Shane G, Wilfred Rosario, Taliban's, and my man Flip Dog and Jay up in here. There's some real ones up in here today, man. And that's not even a coincidence. Normally, I don't see my man Flint Dog, you know, but I see him, you know, I see him fighting out there. I see Shane G fighting out there. And like you said, man, you made a point. There's only a few. Smitty Smith, always strong, one of our strongest supporters, the man who created the Book of X. You can't, it's funny how people, I can identify a real Xbox fan. A real Xbox fan is going to say stuff like that. We create things. We live within our communities. Outlaw Sean, what's good? Louis Frag in the building, what's good, y'all? We talk about these games. I don't understand where Phil's sitting at today, because it looks like Phil is really confused. And I don't know about y'all. And like I said, it's not about, you know, what you believe in, if I'm gonna like you or not. I base my life upon respect. It's respect above everything, or you don't have anything. So everybody doesn't have to agree in order to respect each other. Like I said, this show would literally be just me today. I have too much to say. Phil looks confused, but I'm a man that goes by the good book. One, it's not about what you say, it's your works. Two, you're known by the company you keep. Now, I've been saying this for a while, and I hadn't said it on my channel, right? But I've been saying this to the people that know me, and we talk about this game, and that Xbox PR, something's wrong with them. Something's wrong with the PR. I don't know how the whole entire culture field of Xbox has been flipped upside down. Now, to those that don't understand where I'm coming from, let me explain. I was given an Xbox, and I remember the day like it was yesterday. I was in Memphis, Tennessee. I hope somebody takes this video, right, and shares it with Phil Spencer, because I really, truly have all the great intentions for Phil Spencer. Because if we're going to hold Phil Spencer, right, to a failure, we can't just talk about the one failure and then, oh, it's all over for Xbox. Because let me tell you what that is. That notion is really the truth of how they feel anyway. How do we get to where Redfall is the last straw? Real Xbox fans didn't say that. Who's saying that? The ones who like really said, the ones who are already on the plank, just waiting to jump off the ship? Because real Xbox fans never said anything like that. So if we're going to hold Phil Spencer, right, to Redfall and let Redfall define the whole entire success of Xbox, that wouldn't be a true, what I would call, evaluation. In reality world, a person, when we hear it, we see it. You got people out here telling other people that Phil Spencer needs to be fired. Okay? We know that when you fire somebody, it's based off of an evaluation. Okay? In the beginning, when I got my Xbox, I remember it like it was yesterday. I went up in Best Buy in Germantown off the big intersection. And when I went in there, the kid was so excited to tell me about this new game, right? The new game was Halo Combat Evolved. And he told me, if you've never, ever experienced a video game before, you have to experience this one. If you're getting he says, man, I recommend you to buy this console. It's called the Xbox. But he didn't realize that my woman had already bought it, and I was up there to look for some games because Xbox just came out. It was new. A lot of us are from Sega. We were already exiled. We didn't come from Nintendo and PlayStation. We played on Nintendo, don't get me wrong. But I'm talking for myself. I never owned a PlayStation. So I don't come with any kind of mixed blood in my veins of another console outside of Sega. Yeah, I had a Nintendo later on in life when I went back and bought them as retros. But it goes back to what I was saying before I elaborate on what I was saying. It's like I said, it's a long story. It's going to be a long one, y'all. Buckle up. But this one has to be done. When I look back at my life and I see who was responsible for the influence of me being a gamer, it's flesh of my flesh and it's blood of my blood. It's my good old pops who left me when I was 10 years old to grow up with anger and to find out how to be a man in life. That was my pops, right? At an early phase in my life. But pops did some great things in those 10 years. Taught me how to read, taught me how to count, taught me how to hold my wee-wee, taught me how to wipe my butt, taught me how to defend myself. Because my dad was a United States Air Forceman. My dad was a young man when we moved to Guam. Our little island I'll give you, across from the Philippines, above Australia, New Zealand, out there, and the deepest part of the ocean, in the Mariana Trench, I think that's what it's called. We was out there. My dad was a young soldier man. My mother was a young lady. At the time, my sister was around becoming 7, 6 at the time, and I was 3 to 4 at the time. I got introduced to gaming on a military base. I didn't see my dad again until I was 36 years old. My mom and dad got remarried. I asked my dad, after he said, man, seeing you on a video game, he said, man, I had to laugh in my soul because I remember the day I brought a console home, and I never would have thought after all these years that you would still be playing a video game, right? So I asked him, that's funny, Dad, because I never stopped loving video games. It was basketball, comic books, video games, as a kid. Swimming in the ocean, living on the beaches, having that Guamanian link tie, So video games has always almost been in my whole entire life. I grew up in a household where it was nothing for me to come home from school, see my mother playing on a console, or my sister playing on a console, or my dad when he got off work playing on a console. That wasn't strange to me. My household was full of gamers. So I asked him, Dad, what made you buy a console for me and my sister, right? And this is what he said. I'm 37 years old, right? He told me. He said, when we moved to Guam, I noticed how all my other comrades, married kids, and they were talking about these consoles they had. A lot of them were talking about Atari. And he said, I didn't want you and your sister going to school and being left out because this was a big thing. Now you gotta think back. This goes back to like 82, man. 82, 83. And so he said, it's funny because I remember it. I went to Sears and he said, I looked and they had those displays. They had them displayed. It wasn't kiosks, but they had them on the little TVs, right? And he said, I looked. Atari was the most popular console. They had Ataris all over the place in Sears. The marketing for Atari was just ridiculous. He said, but then I looked over to the other side. I saw this console called the Intellivision. And when I saw the Intellivision, there was really no other kind of debate on which one displayed their video games the best. So I went over there and I grabbed the Intellivision. He said, man, it was $600 back then. And I was laughing because I was like, man, he said consoles was expensive back then. My dad didn't know about console wars and things like that. He didn't know that me and my sister would be growing up being made fun of because we had the inferior console. And what I mean by inferior was, the truth was we didn't have the inferior console. We actually had the better console. The games looked better and everything. But the fact that we didn't have the popular console, we didn't have what everybody else had, we got made fun of. And that was my introduction to the console wars, right? But here's what I started to realize, realists, about the gaming community. When I went to the arcades, I didn't see console wars. Or, let's go deeper, video game wars. Nobody in the arcade made fun of nobody on the games that they played. You went into the dungeon, you go and put a quarter, and you play whatever game you wanted to play. So what do you think I learned at a very young age? And this is before social media, folks. I learned that people have to validate their gaming based upon the popularity of the console that they owned. So I told myself, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Let me grab some of these feeble-minded donkeys and bring them to church. Take them to my house. You ever played in the television? Nah, what's that? Oh, it's another console. What? Yeah, you didn't know? There was more than just Atari out here. Come look, my controller looks like a damn phone. You ever rotated your thumb around a disc? Well, all you used to is just mashing that button down. See, y'all understand something? I come from the rotation. I don't come from button mashing. I come from the rotation. You'd be surprised how many people, how many kids I converted over from Atari to Intellivision in my day. Slowly got to be an Intellivision neighborhood, realist, because kids got to see the difference. They had a choice. They could see and look, obviously. It was obvious. It no longer became what was popular. It became, damn, it's obvious, man. They making some good games. They look better. Man, this little rotation cup ain't that bad. It's actually accurate. It's more accurate than the joystick. Right, realist?
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, man. You got a couple years before me. I came in at the Atari age, and there were no Intellivision players.
Yeah. We died off. Atari was just too strong. And Atari's own arrogance is what killed it off. Lo and behold, realists, on that we moved. We moved. As a matter of fact, in 86, I moved to Texas. My dad's stationed out there in Dodge Air Force Base. I found one kid that had an Intellivision, realist. We became best friends. Guess what his story was? His story was the same story I had. Being made fun of because he had an Intellivision. Getting kids to come over to see these games he had. Then they come out to love these games more than the Atari games. Same story. And then, realist, it was a couple years after that, I would say maybe a year and a half, that Sega Master System, I asked for it. Nintendo's out. Nintendo been out since 85. I knew what Mario was, but I didn't have to worry about playing Mario Brothers. You know why, realist? Because everybody on my street had a Nintendo. Couldn't tell them nothing. So I jumped around on top of things, kicking turtle shells and destroying blocks for about good 2 years. I did that. And then this console came out called Sega Master System. And man, when I tell you that I saw that daggum Alter Beast for that bundle deal, I lost my mind. I had to have, if it wasn't your birthday, you had to have for Christmas. So I'm like, Mom, Dad, can I get that? Of course, Dad, I ain't buying a gun. Of course, your mom's was more lenient. So, I'll save up my money. That'd be the only thing you get for Christmas. I didn't care. I just wanted to play Alter Beast. Because for anybody that played Alter Beast in the arcade knew you put in a lot of quarters to get to the end of that bad boy. And back then, hey man, you if you didn't get your head slapped for even asking for $1, to waste $1 at an arcade machine, you was just good to ask for a quarter, go in there, waste 2 minutes of your life, 3 minutes of your life, and come on out. But hey, you played that game. It's good to see the general in the building. Hello,
Shout
dear,
out to the
as
general.
well. The general is here. My man. I don't know how many times you done seen me come out here by myself. And you see I got my straight shooter. I don't know how many times y'all pointed them fingers at the general because he straight shot at y'all as well. Well, those days is over, bro. Y'all got me on my shit. So, you know, after those days, man, Sonic came out. I upgraded, you know, to the Sega Master. I mean, the Sega Genesis, and that carried me all the way through. I didn't care about Sega CDs because where my neighborhood was at, Sega was strong. We would have tournaments. Man. NBA Jam, Street Fighters, Mortal Kombats. You know, and like me and Six Layer would talk about, we had school park talk. These are the things we did as kids. And I'm here to let you know, truthfully, in the bottom of my heart, some of the best gaming talks that I ever had in my life was when I was a kid, realist. If I could go back and remember all the kids that I talked gaming with, they're better than these journalists today. Because kids are honest. They're unfiltered. They're honest. And we just told each other what's up. When we went through a console war, what y'all going through today is all fakery. Because you got people out here that don't even play games, but they talking because they got a platform. Y'all know it's easy, right? All you got to do, demand the proof. You got to put up a standard. Now, then it can't just be about gamer tags. It's got to be about the work, you know, but there's got to be standards out here. If you don't stand on something, you'll fall for anything. The okie doke is real. I don't care if nobody wants to admit to it. I'm saying it. The double agency is always open. The centaurs are real. The half-breeds are real. The doom and gloomers are real. Fake friendships are real. They'll smile, and the weaklings are real. You know, the ones that know how to act when they're around somebody, but then when they go somewhere else, they act totally different. And we got to deal with all of that. Sadly enough, the real Xbox community, the majority of them are not on social media. Realist knows this now. He knows this now. Like he said, I'm new. I ain't been around too long. But Realist, that doesn't discredit that you're not a real Xbox fan. Because when I talk to Realist, man, there's some of the things that come out of Realist's mouth. It's crazy that it shouldn't be a surprise, right? We should have more people. We don't have to overcrowd the space, but I told y'all a long time ago, you can't give me 10 real Xbox YouTubers where you can go to their YouTube show, to their YouTube channel, and just get the Book of X from them. 10. What you got to deal with, yeah, the flip-floppers. That's true.
Exactly.
I remember that too, that term, the flip-flop. Right. And you know what, General? The flip-floppers is what I think Phil Spencer, he failed to recognize that this is a real society. We're going to talk about the flip-floppers. As to that comment that he said, no matter what we do, to think that we can't make the shift, that was kind of sad. Because if you don't believe in the fighting spirit of the Xbox community, what else does the Xbox community have? That's the basis of this show right now. I look back, realist, and I said, damn, if I look back at the New Legal's life, I was always on the competitor's side. In television, Sega, Xbox. So being on the competitor side, folks, is just a walk in the park for me. I don't know what it is to have the gaming industry, these whack-ass gaming journalists and line-ass influencers and these line-ass YouTubers to talk for my behalf. I don't know nothing about that. So I gotta know
It's a
what
new
I'm
era,
representing
Leaky.
out
It's a
here.
new era, man. It's a new era. That's why they don't. That's why they don't understand where we're coming from.
Right. I don't have all these other outsourcers to talk for me. I'm gonna tell you what got taken away from me, though. Let me tell you what got taken away from me. I remember a group of guys in the out of the European region of the world who decided to create this great magazine called Xbox Magazine. I don't have that anymore. I would go. I couldn't wait every month to go to Barnes and Nobles or to my major store down the streets or whatever and look in the magazine area to see the next Xbox magazine and read about what they found out, because I knew it was all about Xbox. And as an Xbox fan, I had somewhere to go. I didn't have to go to YouTubers. I could read what they were doing and like to see and read the print. Well, I don't have that anymore. I don't have that anymore. That's gone. You know, and I heard Phil Spencer. You don't want to mention COVID, and I get it, you know, but COVID is real, and it's sad enough, you know, that the industry suffered from COVID. Everybody did. Everybody did. Nintendo got by because they were able to have their consoles out before. The Switch was a mid-gen. It was out. It was a next generation, and they had enough to weather through the storm. Even when it was COVID, I still saw Switches. Switches wasn't like, oh, that we ran out of Switches. There wasn't no Switches. No, Switches was out here. That's a fact. But you can see the word commitment. If you haven't seen the video, Realist, can you put the video in the chat, the interview, for those that may not know what I'm talking about? Just put it down in that comment section, and they can click on it. So when I say stuff about what Phil was saying, they can go back and look, right? I appreciate it. Or anybody in the chit chat.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Anybody, because
anybody can do it. And the word commitment now, I can see that it's leaving a bad taste in his mouth, Realist. You know, because the industry puts all this weight on Xbox. Realist, if I'm not explaining that real too well, if you know what I'm talking about, can you explain to them what I mean by how the standards are different? And what's the excuse for the standards, man? Could you elaborate? Am I making any sense? If not, I'll go deep into it.
Yeah, go deeper into it, because
I got you.
Yeah,
no problem. Because this what listen. This is what I do, bro. I know what I'm talking about. And the only thing I've ever said was Xbox, Microsoft team, Phil Spencer, right? You know about the company you keep. Things aren't going to get better when you got people, like I just say this. I don't go to a Mercedes-Benz dealership, right? I don't go to JyzalGaming's dealership, right? The Bentley dealership of JyzalGaming to look for a Toyota Camry. I go to the Bentley dealership looking for a Bentley. So there's not this notion that if you got somebody, right, who's supposed to be a talker for Xbox, when in reality, let's be truthful, they never was. The Xbox community never put these people as talkers for the Xbox community. Never was. They're just on YouTube. You know when you're successful when no matter where you go, you're going to succeed. That's when you know you're somebody. When you're doing it on a social media level, let me just put it like that. Nobody's better than nobody, but hey, let's be real. There's people that are just better than other people on social media. It's just true. It's like there's people that are better that play basketball or hockey or baseball. It's just what it is, right? Me, I could never be silly, so I can't. I'm not going to draw that attention. My vision was to look, me and the general's vision. The general has helped me with this vision because the general knows where I came from. My vision was to take the common Xbox fan, right, and let him talk. Let him basically just talk about Xbox. What are the things that he or she likes about Xbox? Nothing else. And the bottom line was to critique what we say, in an honest way that builds up our community. That's direct gaming. And let me go a little bit deeper than direct gaming. There's a good friend of mine named Claude AKA Knowledge, who ran some gaming stores. Right now, he's up north running about 11 gaming stores. District manager. I used to come into one of his stores around here in the Metropolitan area of Dallas and Fort Worth. He told me, now this is his story about me, so I'm reverting that back to you guys. I come in his store, and he told me, and y'all gonna know the store. Y'all gonna know the store that I'm talking about. He would talk about how in these stores that Xbox don't get a lot of love. This is what we go through, even in real life, and that these stores are quick to shun Xbox as a brand, and how certain people that work for these stores, right? They rather, when you come in and you're looking for something, they're gonna gravitate to that preferred console, which is the PlayStation, right? So they put the Xbox way in the back. And y'all, and I'm gonna say this real quick, and y'all don't understand what's going on in Japan. Y'all gonna really act stupid, right? And not know that this stuff happened here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know which store I'm talking about. Yep. So we would have talks about that store. Look. Bam. Right? We can act dumb on Twitter, but this ain't the dumb show. This ain't the dumb time. So the same things, I don't want to hear about things that go on in Japan when it was the same thing that was going on with my console in my country. And there you have it. The real Xbox fans know what I'm talking about. So there you have it, right? They would have it in the back. Now, this is something I'm talking to you, Phil Spencer, and everybody on the Xbox team that works hard, okay? Works hard, because we know the reason why they work hard and the reason why Phil Spencer, the word commitment, I can tell is leaving a sour taste in his mouth because of the pressure that the industry puts on Xbox. Phil, listen, man. The industry don't like Xbox. All right, let's just be truthful. I know the PR team and then all that. Listen, my opinion about Xbox PR team, it sucks. All right, if we want to be accepting people's opinion, that's my opinion, right? But I'm not like these guys that'll tell you don't take me serious. Nah, take me serious, because here's one thing that I ain't never done with my Xbox community. I've never played around with them. When I tell you I'm coming from the ashes, from the mud, from the bottom of the ponds with Xbox, I did that. All right. I remember being at GameStop, making sure people saw that NFL 2K5 was far greater than Madden. How did I know how to do that so well? Well, credit to me for being on the competitive side of consoles. That's why. That's why it was easy. And at a time, GameStop wasn't like that, because in a small little GameStop store in Mississippi, they let me run that kiosk because whether y'all believe it or not, there's Xbox fans out there. They're just ashamed to admit it, because there was a time when you admitted you was an Xbox fan, you got ridiculed. And a lot of these Xbox fans,
they stopped that?
So they didn't. So they was rooting for people like me, right? Somebody off the streets, right? Now are you getting where my vision is for direct gaming? Somebody like me, right, from the streets that ain't working in these stores, that come in that store with all that vigor and all that energy and say, nah, man, that game's bad, ain't nothing no more. They just robbing us. They're not really innovating. But I played this 2K5 and this game's on another level. Y'all need to put this game up, man, so people can see the difference. Let these games compete. That game was going for $19.99. You want to know what the industry was saying about that game? Man, we ain't finna play that game. Look at the price. I remember it like it was yesterday, realists. I remember it like it was yesterday, chit chat. That's what they had to say about that game. They had already buried that game because it was going out on the shelves for $19.99. And in their minds, no way this game can be better than Madden. Because Madden was the number one game. Hint, hint. It was the biggest football market leader in the world. Hint, hint. How dare anybody in the gaming space come out and say there's a game better than it? Hint, hint. But it's until gamers got their hands on it and they saw that they had to do a lot more things than just what you do on Madden that made the difference. How did that game explode and become the second best NFL game of all time outside of Madden? It shook up man so bad. Man couldn't even compete. Think. I want y'all to think about how number one sitters react when they face competition. They run, they scared. They talk all that stuff when they don't have no competitor. But as soon as they get a competitor, fast forward, look at Sony today. Soon as Microsoft really wants to compete, look at Sony today, right? So a lot of you guys out here, y'all can't fool the real Xbox community. You can say whatever you want to say about me, but my job is to echo the streets of the Xbox community. You don't see the new legal in a spaces where donkeys are hosting my space. You are known by the company you keep. So look at the company that I'm keeping. It speaks for itself. If you are a person that's talking into the Xbox community, let me give you a hint. You won't have 800 to 1,000 people in your spaces, and the Xbox community is there. You're not kidding the Xbox community. The Xbox community is not there. Once a certain community hears that you're the kind of person that puts pressure on Xbox, they're coming to hear you, because that community is a community built off of feelings. They ain't buying games, all right? You can't take away that article with the president of PlayStation from saying that. So we got that. So here's the standard, right? Here's Phil Spencer and the Xbox team. Even at their worst, where they can't live up, right? Quotation marks, they can't live up to what they say, right? So we're going to beat them down because they can't, because their goal is to give us all these games. Shit, at least they got a damn goal to give us all these games, realists. I'd rather have a vision of that. Thank you. I'd rather have a vision like that instead of a... Now, let me tell you what's so funny today, people. I don't hear one of them trying to... Where is Yoshida at, right? Where do they got him up, asking him, getting an interview for him, asking him, right? Why come PlayStation don't have no games? And I'm going to tell you what they say. Oh, it's because PlayStation has a reputation. What reputation, bro? I don't like them games. So who you speaking to? Who you talking to? Because watch this, Rain. If I'm not, what's the word? Nah, if I'm not hearing things right, Phil Spencer, right? You, sir, was in that interview and you said yourself, right? It's crazy. He said himself that when we sit up here, what's up, really?
I think we can too, though.
Oh,
no, I'm just reading what Rain said.
You so stupid. You did the Rain. No, man, you're gonna make me forget. Stop, man. Hey, we gotta get off Rain G4 because he'll have it all comedy in. Listen, man, for real. We're holding stuff to different standards. When Phil Spencer was talking about how, I'm trying to remember what I was about to say. Let me go back to Yoshida. We don't want to hold, where his interview at, right? For the lack of games. There we go, right? Yoshida, there's nobody out here, right? When we think about shipping out video games, if PlayStation has a standard, right? Because it's PlayStation, they have a standard of putting out video games. I'm trying to get to where I was at. Dang, Phil Spencer said it himself on that show. I forgot what I was gonna say, people. But anyway, I think it had to gravitate to the fact that if PlayStation can come out and not drop one game, right? Have not even a concept art of their biggest title, right? There is no outlet speaking upon that. I know for a fact that I understand Why? Because y'all see me elaborate on Spider-Man 2 for a while now. And my question is, where is it? And here the other day, we get Sony coming out telling them, here, we know that y'all been waiting, right? And we're going to give you a comic book, and we're going to give you the remaster to swing around again. That should hold you until the next game comes out. Y'all still don't have a date. Y'all just have a what? Uh-oh. Don't let this word come back to beat y'all up. A release window. You have a release window. And y'all are cool with that. Like I said, not known by what you say, you're known by your works. Well, there's the same energy is not there. We're picking and choosing. Let's just be real. We're picking and choosing. Nobody is questioning Sony. Nobody has the Sony president, the head leader of Sony. You don't have Jim Ryan up here questioning him. Nah.
You don't have not only him, you don't have any of that leadership that's willing to talk with the gamers.
Thank you.
And this is I mean, I know you ready to, drop the hammer on Phil. I'm a listen. But at least Xbox thinks enough for us to address us in any way. Even if they use a platform like Kind of Funny where, us real Xbox fans know that that's not necessarily an Xbox channel, an Xbox panel. He didn't have to be speaking to them. He was speaking to the gaming public. I mean, he said some things that I believe were positive, and he said some things that I know that you think were negative. We'll get to those. But we already know why the standard is different for Xbox. Until Xbox is viewed as one of the leaders in gaming, right? Because it's not about innovation, because we know who leads there, right? It's not about, just games. It's about pleasing the public, not the public, the media. This is all a media interaction. This was not necessarily about gamers, but he did answer some things about gamers, because this whole narrative comes from the media. This whole fire feel, everything. Xbox can't manage their studios. That all comes from media and faux media like YouTubers. So he has to address these things. He doesn't have to, but if he's going to choose to make an appearance, he has to, because those questions will be asked. But the standard will be different, because we're not talking about the fact that the competitors didn't have, or the main competitor didn't have any game, right? So we're going to talk about the game that Xbox had, in the past, few years, probably 3 years, that was poorly rated. We're not going to talk about Publisher of the Year. We're going to talk about this one game that came out after an 87 rated game from the first quarter. Now, Minecraft came out and it was in the 70s, but Minecraft is Minecraft. People were still playing it, and they're trying something different. A lot of times we can't look at how they grade these games and say, whether it's good or bad, because they come in with a certain expectation. Because if you look at how they graded Redfall and how they graded Jedi Survivor, they didn't dock Jedi Survivor for its lack of polish or with the presence of bugs, but all of those things they took into account when it came time to grade Redfall. Yeah, Redfall has bugs. Yes, Redfall needs some things done, but is it a 60 game? I don't know. I mean, not in my opinion, but that's how they grade. Xbox has to deal with that. They can't just make the rules, right? That it's not their world yet. This is Sony's world. So until they're able to turn the tables, we'll get these types of responses from Phil and other members who choose to address the public. Because he could have came out and brought up the fact that they did have these good games. He brought up Hi-Fi Rush. He also brought up Age of Empires, which nobody talks about, but it has more gamers on it than Hi-Fi Rush. But we talk about Hi-Fi Rush because of its Metacritic grade. And that's a media product. Go ahead, man.
And that's crazy that you said that, because one of those same people, right, cracks me up all the time. They did a post about Age of Empire, or a comment about it. I believe if it wasn't in the Spaces, about Age of Empires, right? And look, I'm telling you, there's a track record of stupidity. If Age of Empires has more players on it, then it was a good thing to have Age of Empires on it. I remember somebody saying that it didn't make sense for Age of Empires to be on Xbox. Age of Empires don't need to be on Xbox. Why? If you can get a video game to be out and be played by more people, that's a win. Listen, man, at the end of the day, these developers are trying to feed their family. They're trying to make a living for themselves. Like I said, I don't know no drug dealer that's just going to sell drugs on a block, right? We don't know stuff like that, all right? We know common sense stuff at the bottom level. I don't know a dealership that just wants to sell one car, realist. I don't know stuff like that. I don't know one football arena, one baseball arena, one basketball arena that wants one fan in those stands. So how long are we going to keep playing stupid with these people, bro? Rain G4. Xbox has always been innovative since the OG Xbox. Built-in hard drive, Xbox Live, best controller, 360 achievements, apps on console. Facts. But let me tell you something, Rain G4, that doesn't matter when you have cockadoodle dudes, right? That the only thing they're waiting on is for Xbox to fail, because we know deep down they're not really all in with Xbox. You can't have people working for your company, right? When you trying to push a vision out in your company, right? You can't, look, you don't go to Sony, right? You don't go to working for Sony looking to find Xbox. You don't go to a pizza place looking to find a Big Mac. So when we can stop being silly and goofy, right? And acting like there's a real kumbaya existence in this gaming industry, it's not. Because you see it in their mouth. You see it where they go. Nobody's stupid, man. Nobody's ignorant to when they go somewhere. All right? If you are out there supposedly talking to gamers of the Xbox community, you wouldn't be moving the way you move. There's only one way about the Xbox community. There's only one way that's always been about the Xbox community, and the word is to compete. Peter Moore knew this. Like I've been telling everybody, Phil Spencer, right? What makes me an Xbox fan is not its popularity. It's what you offer. Ray G4 just named some of these things. We've never had a problem paying for Xbox Live. We had no problems with that. And look what happened. As the years went by, the other two that's supposed to be these two that are so great, they copycat you. They copycatting you. So why did I have that Xbox? I know that I've never hit, as a community, we never hit 100 million. That's never been our focus. Our best console years are behind us. We've had it in the 360. Okay, great. But why are we really still here? The worst generation that everybody knows, right? The 360. Y'all dropped that ball. We came off of a high rush. I mean, the rush was bigger than cocaine. Here we are coming off that 360 rush. We're seeing Xbox One come, and y'all got the wrong leaders up in there. You got people that are in the leadership of Xbox that don't even know how to talk the Xbox language. That's on y'all. If you don't, and we've been saying throughout these whole entire years, right? Anytime in doubt, just come down here. We got y'all. It ain't them guys. It ain't them guys. Anybody can throw on an Xbox outfit. Anybody can put on an Xbox shirt. Anybody can throw some handsets on their heads, realists. We can all pretend. But I bet you, no, matter of fact, there ain't no bet. This is a 100% fact. Let's show them games this year. Let's show these same people, right, that always got Xbox in their mouth. These influencers should be held at a standard. You shouldn't have nobody out here talking for Xbox and they ain't playing your games. Bottom line, what does that look like? You got a clean house. They talking about fire Phil Spencer. I say get rid of these fake influencers, bro. Open your eyes. You can't build no business off no friendship. We all know family and business don't mix.
Yeah, but legal influencers are an extension of the media, and he or she who controls the media wins. I mean, it's just the way of the world right now.
And that is the number one problem against Xbox. Because when you look at the media, right? I'm glad you said that. From the jump, you get people like Ryan McAfee, right? Like I said, and this is old news, who started the year off attacking Xbox. Attacking Xbox. We had these same people last year prepping the atmosphere. See, the problem of this, right? I'm going to get to your 6-layer comment. Smitty Smith, Xbox was built on community. It was us. We together. Xbox was built on community. It was us. We together as one. The Book of X, exactly.
Hand in hand.
Yeah, hand in hand. It's
no, but
true,
that's a fact, though. I mean, when you're first to the market with an online community, you can't help but to be built on community.
Right.
But see, we lost our way somehow.
Right.
Keep on going, man. But I'm gonna drop my jabs in, man. Let you keep going.
Go ahead. If you need to speak, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. I just told you I'm gonna drop my jabs. You keep going.
No doubt. Look, that was what made it so beautiful, Realist, and Smitty Smith. Because for once in the gaming history, we saw the underdog community not faded. Do you know Xbox is the only true surviving 2K console? It's the 2K console. It's the console of this millennium. Everybody else was in the other in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s. The Xbox is the only true 2K console. Exactly, 6-layer. Exactly. Look, when you got people who set the temperature, right? Negative. It's either a positive temperature or negative temperature. When you got people already, this was last year, setting the tone for this year, telling the Xbox community to don't be excited. These are the same people, Phil Spencer, that you got on shows. There was a time when Phil Spencer actually went to real Xbox shows, way in the beginning. This was over 10 years ago. People at the bottoms of the bottoms that were real Xbox fans. I just saw Peter Moore on a show not too long ago. These guys are not big time. They got a chance to interview Peter Moore, man. And I'm sitting up here like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And we need to get more like that. The Xbox community needs to be excited when they see a real Xbox fan in their community. We need to do something where when we're talking, we're coming from a place that knows its community. It's not saying dumb stuff, or it's not taking himself seriously. How am I supposed to take yourself seriously and you on a show called Kind of Funny? Nobody sees anything funny to begin with. You know, it's okay to have friends and buddies, but we're talking about a console space that loves to compete. All right, we've taken away the console sales from us. Oh, the console sales, the console wars are silly. Okay, we get it. But it must not be too silly, Realist, because the gaming journalists do it every day. Can't be too silly. Look, you got people questioning. Y'all say y'all listen to people. Okay. Dia said, question. How do we get Phil to see us? Why don't he understand the real Xbox gamer, especially those who stood by them? Does Xbox even know we exist, or do they only see the media? You're saying you see us. Listen, I go by the good book, like I say, right? There's this saying, Realist, and I hope that you can finish it. A kingdom divided
shall not stand.
Say that again?
Shall not stand.
One more time.
You trying to take us to church?
Yeah, one more time.
A house divided cannot stand, man.
That's it. So what y'all are seeing, you can close y'all's eyes as an Xbox community, right? Because every Xbox fan doesn't gonna think the same, but don't mean we're divided. You know, like when I say stuff like this, man, I wish the snap feature came back. There'll be another Xbox fan say, nah, man, I ain't care about the snap feature. Just because he said he don't care about the snap feature don't mean we're divided. We're still saying it. We're still standing on Xbox. But when you got people out here, the temperature ain't been changed. We're just talking about a feature, right? But when the temperature is set, when I'm out here acting like I'm Joel Osteen, right, or TD Jakes, and I'm giving you this prosperity gospel, right? I'm giving you this touchy-feely. Oh, as long as it sounds good to my ears, I'm going to listen to this guy or this woman, right? I'm going to listen to this person, right? As long as it sounds good to my ears, that's who I'm batting for. Then you'll get a community like this. You're reading. Sixler says, especially a channel that has had nothing but sus takes and is known on site by real Xbox fans and not to listen to, but you give them the interview. Why not just do your own? Look, realize, did I not just say that? I said that today. You know, I said, you know what, man? It wouldn't have been no different if Phil just came out on his own and talked to the community. But I'm just saying, I ain't the only one that thought that. You see what I'm saying? The only way, right, that the Xbox community can stay afloat is you go out here and you support your games. That's all I can say to you. Because if the media and these billy goats have deceived Phil, and Phil don't get it. Pay attention to your surroundings, Phil. I'm telling you, the streets done seen these dudes in action. You're telling me to take a show. I've been out here in these Xbox streets for over 20-some years, and there's a show that's only had 136 episodes on Xbox?
Bro, Legal, could it be that we just don't have a loud enough voice, right? Because this is what we were talking about. I challenge that it's the people like you and other, what I consider underground Xbox channels that are the real Xbox channels with the real Xbox communities. Because I think they're confusing the people based on following as Xbox channels, not knowing that they're not even preaching to the right choir, right? They're talking to a majority of PlayStation fans. They'll listen to Xbox channels because they know where these hosts' hearts really are. And they're confusing it because these guys have followings that they're real Xbox channels. You look at a certain YouTuber who came home from Washington. Well, he's from Washington, and he said how good the game looked and felt on whatever they had him playing on. And then next thing you know, he's riding away with everybody else complaining about the game and not in disagreement about anything about his guests and what they're saying on the show that's negative. I think that Xbox, they're in a pickle, right? Because the real fans don't have a big enough following for them to put it on wax as to what they have to say about their console with guys like, you or anybody else that has a real Xbox following. They have to go to these people that have a following so that at least they feel like people are going to watch. And that's where I think they're stuck at. Because you bring Phil onto this channel, these people are not necessarily in your corner. You have I guess the parent company of these channels that is, man, don't text me while I'm on the thing. All right, you have parent companies of these channels that say they have to have people who need to talk about every platform, and that's the problem. They have to have an Xbox channel. Even your boy who brought that other guy who has an Xbox channel. I don't want to talk about people, but we know that they're not Xbox fans over there, but they brought a so-called Xbox person so they can have an Xbox arm of what they do, just basically trying to expand their business. But they're not real Xbox fans over there.
Well, I mean, you have your take, right? That's your take on it. And you're going by what you see. So if we're all basing all this stuff off opinions, right? Because that's the new thing now, realists, in the chit chat community. Everything is opinion based. Well, at some point, man, we gotta hold opinions. Opinions gotta hold some kind of weight, right? We can't just go around here saying stupid stuff. And then when soon as somebody check you, the defense system is it's just my opinion. Like, come on, man. Like, that's not being truthful. An opinion doesn't mean it can be truthful. The fact remains that opinions don't move anything. We got to stand on something. I mean, if we're going to evaluate Phil Spencer, right? They got Phil Spencer feeling like he's failing. Okay. All right. There's certain areas of Phil Spencer that I feel doesn't promote me as my Xbox flagship fanship desires, right? But that's me. There's some things about Phil Spencer. And listen, Phil Spencer's job isn't to please everybody. Let's just get that straight, right? But there's a core I feel like there's a core fundamental value that all real Xbox fans would never have a problem with, and that's compete. This is why certain ones feel, there you go, right there. You'll hear this all the time. Now, I've been seeing this for years. Y'all saying y'all listen to people, right? But see, what I'm starting to think is what I'm seeing, not what I'm thinking, but what I'm seeing. I don't see people looking at people like dirt. I see the other way, because all we get is the reactions of the other way. So if you're only going to focus on a group within the Xbox community that sounds like this, then you're going to look like what you look like today. You know, because you have a competitive side within Xbox. And no matter, I don't care about what the other side has promoted, what a fanboy looks like. Like I told you, I don't care who calls me a fanboy. I could care less. You never heard me say that Yoshida needs to be fired, that Bowser needs to be fired, or Phil Spencer needs to be fired. Never said things like that. You never heard me say somebody is stupid because they're playing a console that I'm not playing. You've never heard me say anything like that. Yes, what I'm guilty of, here's what I'm guilty of. I'm guilty of not helping to run a $2 trillion business. I'll tell you another thing I'm guilty of. Y'all want to put me on a cross? Oh, I'm guilty of making donkeys, the people in the players community that hate Xbox every day on Twitter. When I make tweets on Twitter, I get them mad. Okay, I'm guilty of that. Okay, you tell me, well, I need to stop that. All right? But I got a platform here. And you don't see all this cussing and stuff coming out of my mouth, right? And I'm sitting here talking to an Xbox community that supports this channel, right? I've had people on my channel that don't agree with me. Everybody here does not always agree with what I say. I've seen my man Realist get ridiculed, right? I've seen the general get ridiculed because they shoot straight. So let's don't ever get it twisted. But there's things that just have to be said. Y'all don't have a blindfold on our eyes. We see right through y'all. Y'all are loving this because a lot of y'all have already set the temperature up. And if Phil Spencer ain't seeing that, then that's his fault. The PR team needs to go. That's my opinion. I don't know what they're doing. They're out here looking at all these influencers. These influencers don't represent the Xbox community. This is gaming. Gaming ain't never been about one love, one life, let's get together and everything will be all right. I ain't never seen that. Let's stop acting like it exists. It don't. We told y'all Sony don't give a damn about us. Y'all wanted us to put up blue hearts on Twitter. They ain't green heart nothing over here.
You ain't never see a $1 trillion company trying to buy things in the gaming industry either, though.
Facts. They're not over here wanting us to share on their games. They laughed at Game Pass. They're the ones that said something that provides more gamers with more games, that's silly. That's Sony. Sony making them upgrade $10. They're overcharging. They're the ones that went to court and lost. They went to court and lost. You want to know what they lost? Robbing their own fan base. I know y'all don't like to talk about that. I know that's business stuff. But hey, that's the beautiful thing about us down here. We ain't in no business. We ain't got no PR team telling us what we can and cannot say. That's the beautiful thing about this. And everybody here means well for Xbox. You don't see us. We know the people out here. We know the moonwalkers. We know them. We know them. Phil, we know them. And we're telling you, you need to do some house cleaning. Because these are the same people who, when they get caught, they doing all this apologizing all the time. There's no apologizing in gaming. If your heart is right, you don't need to be apologizing. When your heart is right, when you're not trying to be silly, there's no need for apologizing. When you're being serious with yourself, there's no need to be apologizing. I get it. Phil comes into the interview. He's not supposed to be happy. He's not to say, oh, thank you, welcome. It's a bad. Nah, bro, I get it. I understand a little bit of how this stuff works. Because if you set the tone that, yeah, there's been a failure, right? But so there's going to be some people that are going to feel bad, are going to want things to get better. And you bank on the Phoenix story, right? But the funny part about it is, y'all, we can sit here and let a company get a dead game, put out nothing, have nothing to show for nothing, and there's no pressure. There's absolutely no pressure. You had people in that interview asking Phil Spencer obvious questions to obvious answers that have already been said. So where are these people been at all this time? You had somebody telling Phil about all the games that were presented in 2020, brand new games. And you had somebody, well, we want to know where they're at. They're being developed, dumbass. It's only been 2 years. The same, where's Spider-Man 2 at? If we're going to be real, let's be real. Like, that's a pipeline. You can't even tell us a pipeline for Sony. If you're okay with that, why are you asking the head Xbox man something obvious? Games big title games never came out 2 years. What the hell? When you listen to that interview, man, it's damn near sad. Hell, if I was Phil Spencer, I'm just sad because I'm listening to these people ask me these dumbass questions. I'm like, God dang. A Valve, a Fable, and bro, come on, bro. That's like asking Sony, where's Wolverine at? Come on, man. Like, this is Phil Spencer. And y'all acting like, y'all asking him questions, he's got to be baffled off these questions. I know I would. And Phil, you don't owe nobody anything. You don't owe nobody anything, man. You ain't got to come up being interviewed. Come on, man. All we ever said was, listen, the marketing term for the Xbox Series S and X was power your dreams. Power your dreams. Okay. So he even said it. I get it. People know that we have the technology, we have the resources. Okay. So the real Xbox community just wants you to deliver. Just deliver on the technology. We got our Xboxes. It's going on 3 years. We don't have one game to define this generation. I don't have, and listen, we listen to everybody. Okay. Well, I don't have one game, right? Since I bought this thing, and I bought this day one. In a world where millions of people were dying. I remember when the general made a show and talked about y'all as gamers, how y'all complained in a time where millions of people were dying. This is the world I'm living in, Phil Spencer. This is the world I'm living in. We sat there, and I'm going to get to them, realists. Don't worry. I'm going to get to them. We sat there. We watched developers have to leave their offices and go home. We were part of the lock-in. Wear your mask lifestyle. Kids had to go to school digitally, virtually, I'm saying, virtual school. You know, I feel sad for them kids that were in first or second grade because they didn't get that proper development. Y'all think it's a joke, but that's going into that generation like that. They didn't get that proper development, and they can never get that back. Those are vital years of learning and understanding things. That group right there didn't get that. And to be honest, the COVID, that's going to come back in future generations. That generation right there is going to appear in the future. And it's going to be clear that they lacked something when they were growing up. Now let's go back. We're going to evaluate Phil, right? Phil gave us Game Pass in a time where there wasn't no COVID. Realists, now I won't get deep. Realists and chit chat, y'all ready for this?
Let's go.
This is what these clowns don't talk about when it comes to Phil Spencer. He's not perfect, right, realists? I know. Realists in the general have them the two. Phil Spencer, I ain't met two guys who swing harder for you than the realists in the general. Man, we've had arguments over Phil Spencer. But these two guys swing hard for you. So we're gonna do a proper evaluation for Phil Spencer. Shane G, my Xbox brother from another mother. Shane G, one of these guys out here on Twitter that tell these fakes they fake. I want to introduce him.
Facts.
Right? A battle warrior out here. Okay. Phil Spencer and Team Xbox created something with Sarah Bond. They created something beautiful. They created something called Game Pass in 2016. I want y'all to listen real closely to me. The year was 2016. So their vision was already about giving us games, y'all, before a pandemic. Before all this madness, there was something beautiful brewing on Xbox. 2016, people. Game Pass has been out almost 7 years. When June hits or July hits, Game Pass has been out for 7 glorious years. 7. It's sold over 30 million. It's got over 30 million subscribers. What does that tell you? That the Xbox team, when they built something good from their heart. Because let me tell you, when you build something good, it lasts through the test of time. If it's built on goodness, it will last. It will show itself, and it will stand tall during hard times. So here's the Xbox team building something beautiful, right? And here comes something bad like COVID. It hits the world. Boom. Guess who was thriving the most in the gaming industry? The Xbox fan. And how did we know this? Because, boy, the reality of the console wars came out. We got made fun of because we didn't have to buy no games. And how dare we, right? The Xbox community not support the devs. Now, this is coming from the gaming side that don't buy games. But we are supposed to listen to what they say, right? We're supposed to listen to them despite Sony telling them the first-party games don't sustain us. These exclusives don't sustain us. They're just good talking points so that you stay blindfolded into buying our console. The only thing Microsoft ever did about the console space was to let us know that despite your console, you can still play a video game. They brought us down to the essence of reality. Hey, look, man, we got some people that may not even be able to buy a console. They were still able to play Xbox games, realists, because of the cloud. Look at that. Because of the cloud. They were able to play these games on their Xbox Ones. They weren't able to buy the next generation console, and they wasn't left behind. And you want to know what's funny? the cloud wasn't even a next gen experience. The cloud was built upon the Xbox Series X experience. So you're getting the Xbox Series X experience through the cloud on your device. Oh no, feels horrible. Oh, he needs to quit. He needs to be fired. Okay. But I get it, just like he should get it. We've allowed the industry to hold Xbox to a certain standard when they failed their own narratives, Phil Spencer. We can't ignore Sony, Phil, because Sony is #1 market brand. So like I keep telling everybody, you have to pay attention to Sony. When you look at Xbox, you have to evaluate by Sony because Sony sets the narratives. I've watched you, Phil, and the Xbox team work tired to knock down these narratives. Even if you don't admit to it, Phil, we see it. You made the small console because we got made fun of for having a big one. Stop acting like what I'm saying ain't real. The reason why we have small consoles today is because we got made fun of for having a big VCR. That's why. The reason why we're pushing so hard for third-party games today is because we were told we didn't have games. Now look at who don't have games. Look who have games and look who don't have games. We get it. Microsoft came in fighting. All Xbox ever known how to do, Phil, is fight. That's all we got. Where else are we gonna go? They're not talking to you like this, Phil. No, they ain't talking to you like this. We're talking to you like this. Do we have an alternative? Here's where I was gonna go, realist. Phil Spencer said it himself, and I said this, Phil, yesterday. No gaming developer deserves to stay put on one thing their whole entire career. No developer deserves that. Every developer deserves to go and do something different and to dream. Even Neil Druckmann is getting tired of the walkthrough, hold your hand, cinematic, soap opera, emotional thrill ride experience. Even he's tired of it. So it's good to hear Turn 10 doing something different. It's good to see Bungie do something different. It's good to see 343 coming in doing something different. It's good to see Arcane Austin represent Texas, right, realist? You think Texas, you think me and realist ain't gonna go support Arcane Austin? We here. You down talking us? Nah, we gonna play this game. They home. We playing it. We don't say realist is an Arcane fan, y'all. He loves y'all. I learned Arcane by him.
I was about to say, man, I've been rocking with Arcane since before they became a part of the family, man.
I talked to this man.
Before I knew they had an Austin and Leon.
Right. You got people out here like Games Heroes. Games Heroes who shook up the whole Twitter space over Pentiment. How do you not know these people? How? These are your real Xbox fans. When them guys that are interviewing you was calling As Dusk Falls not good enough. Pentiment not good enough. When Pentiment winning Gottis. Oh, but Pentiment ain't good enough. But Stellar Blade is. Forspoken is. Come on. The PlayStation community can't even live up to their own narratives to the point today they got Ryan McAfee, who's supposed to be the Xbox guy. There goes another one of the clowns, right? Telling the PlayStation, this is where we're at now. An Xbox guy, supposedly, from IGN, talked more than the guy that was supposed to be representing PlayStation on that show, telling the PlayStation fans that they should go ahead and accept Final Fantasy 16 as a first party. This is where we're at today. This is where we're at today.
Yeah, let them have it though.
So Arcane, right, is guilty for trying to do something different. Listen, I'm gonna be even more deeper. You can't be this stupid as gamers, y'all, to think that
Try
an
'em.
online game, right? And they even said it in the interview because they know better. It's just a know better situation. This is an online only game. So what does that tell me as New Legal has been out here playing video games all his life? That I don't know one online game, realist, that ever came out that was completely done. Name me one, realist, that it was an online only game that came out and it was complete.
Bro, I'm the one who laid the challenge down.
There you
Because
go.
I already thought about this. I've already seen what happens. And look,
So
this is
the
go ahead,
fact
bro.
that the fact that it wasn't the fact that Redfall, look, we're gonna be dumb. Okay, let's be dumb. Let's just play this off. Redfall's a bad game. It's the worst game I've ever played, right? But that ain't what shook up the internet. What shook up the internet, Phil Spencer, was it ain't 60 frames per second. Because I am one of those who criticized Microsoft and Arcane for allowing this game to come out and it ain't 60 frames. Because why? Why did I do that, people? Because I knew exactly that this was going to happen. Phil Spencer. I knew, damn it. Here we go. We're going to go. Here we go. Get ready to get on this ride. Buckle up. Because if this game don't come out in its 60 frames, doom and gloom time, baby. Wrap it up, guys. There's nothing left to see. Pack it up, boys. Let's go home. Every real Xbox fan knows this. Microsoft, you can't mess up. It's time to clean house. The real Xbox fans are who you should promote. I don't care. I don't care what the PR team says. We can't look like we're all Xbox. Why come you can't? Because looking like you're all Xbox is not a bad thing. The Europeans do it. I go on Xbox On. All I see is happy Xbox fans on Xbox On. If they're pretending, damn, they're good pretenders. But when I come back to my state, I can't find one channel where there's some American Xbox gamers on YouTube being represented by Xbox. That's a problem, Phil. That's a problem. That's a problem. Rosario, if people hate Redfall and Redfall is so trash, then why are people still playing it? Some people arguments are just crazy. Exactly. The game is not, look, it's an online only game. So that tells me that when it's an online only game that it comes out, like Phil, you had people on that show that was telling you to delay that game. Where are their common sense at? Phil, if Phil was my friend, how can I be this dumb, right? How can you be around somebody like Phil Spencer and say some of the dumbest stuff on Twitter? You guys went up there. It was a group of you. You guys went up there to Arcane and played that game. We know that y'all acted just like you act when you're around them. You're smiling. Oh, yeah. You have no authority or power when you're around them. You're in your place. You're in your place, right? Huh? You're laughing it up. You're telling them exactly what they want to hear. Or they telling y'all exactly what you need to say. It's one of the two. So the first initial report was that, oh, we got here. We're looking at the game and it looks beautiful. That was the first initial report. I make a tweet out. I'm getting word that they're going up there, but I don't think they're playing co-op. From what I'm hearing, they're playing single player. Now, listen. Don't ask me who told me that. That's confidential information. But all I'm going to say is I put it on my Twitter. If you don't believe me, go scroll away. If you're a troll and you care that much, go look. You'll find the post where I said that. The other thing I was cracking up about was, why them? How are you going to have people that don't play your games go up and play your game and know how to play your game? And at that, you only had them playing by themselves. So that ain't a good look. You know, at least put them in co-op so they look like they decent. But they came back. You had one guy who lied to the Xbox community. Put up on a header my assessment, basically, of Redfall, what I've seen, right? Underline that. Redfall, Xbox Series X, 4K 60. We got the picture. There ain't no need to lie about it. Now, these are the guys that y'all sent out, right? These are the guys that ain't never been on the solid grounds of Xbox. So that's the PR, right? That's the PR who decided to pick these people, right? And they go out there and they lie to the community. So the community, right, because you PR team chose these guys to be the talking, the spokesman. So now you set the tone. We didn't know anything about 30 frames per second. They said it was 60. And then here comes Arcane. We will be releasing the game such and such and such and such date. We're here to tell y'all that the game will be released at 4K 30 with performance mode set for 60 frames per second coming soon. What do you think the Xbox community? First of all, what did you think your haters were gonna do? Now let's get real. Why are the haters of Xbox so significant for the internet? I don't know why nobody's telling. I don't. They may not. They may. And if they are telling Phil Spencer this and he don't care, then it just doesn't make sense to me. But somebody has to tell Phil Spencer that the PlayStation community, I was going to say the donkey, sorry. But the PlayStation community, I'm lying about that, sorry. The PlayStation fan base is 3 times bigger than us on the social web. On the social web. So if you mess up on the social web, how does the real Xbox community have a fighting chance? How? Because they're going to take that. They're going to smear it all out on they're going to go to their YouTubers that are already waiting for them. They're going to go into these articles, just like right now, Ryan McAfee, he even said it. Hey, I'm thinking about doing an article on this is it for Microsoft. Well, Ryan McAfee, here's what I'm going to say to you, bro. Leave. We don't really need you anyway. You're not doing anything for our community. Leave. If Phil Spencer and the Xbox team are not doing what you think they ought to do, go get back on your PlayStation and go play Spider-Man Remaster and go read your comic book that they gave you. Do that. Because we ain't going to miss you. It's just as simple as that. There's no crying in gaming. I never cried on gaming. I'm either enjoying the platform that I buy my games on or I go play another console, realist. It's just that simple. It ain't hard, but why are we making a big deal out of these things? Because that's what gets the clicks. We understand, Phil, that Microsoft can stop all of this. Let me tell y'all how Microsoft can stop all of this. They just don't think it's worth investing in. Okay, that's cool. Digital Foundry cannot compete with Microsoft's engineers. So, what do you think would happen to Digital Foundry right now? I don't care if they got a million subscribers on their YouTube channel, realist and chit chat. What do you think would happen if for every Xbox game came out, Microsoft had an evaluation team that showed us the frame rates, that showed us the resolution, that talked about the game, let the developers talk about it? What do you think is going to happen to Digital Foundry? Thank you.
I don't know. Digital Foundry is dead to me already.
But on an honest level, what do you think would happen to Digital Foundry? They have to pack their bags up because they can't tell you more about the game than the ones that are doing the game. They can't tell you more than that. Nobody's gonna go to the secondhand source. Who would do that with their right mind? So let's just be honest, everybody. These entities that are existing are only existing because the big banker is not willing to put it to rest. We can put all this stuff to rest. They don't have to have somebody like Digital Foundry to talk about their video games. They really don't. Let's just let that be clear. They're here to pamper you, the hater. We know John Linneman is a donkey. We know Ryan McAfee is a donkey. We, the Xbox fans, have to go watch Game Awards. Jeff Keighley don't care nothing about no damn Xbox. That's why we don't ever understand when y'all do interviews with them. Come on, bro. We get it. There's some things that are business. We get it. We ain't saying don't ever interview with the guy. One thing we can't ever say about Jeff Keighley is he's not a gamer. The guy's a gamer. I can say that about him. You ain't got to like him, but at least that's one thing you can't say about Jeff. Can't say that about him. I mean, he has an international name. His mom and dad was rich, worked in Hollywood. He got that good handouts, but hey, he's here. He ain't come from the mud. Everything was given to him. But it ain't like he didn't establish something. He did. You know, but I'm just saying, we don't, where's our XOs? Y'all don't invest in nothing that make us feel good anymore, Phil. Them XOs. We talked, y'all said something about Phil needs to be more communicative. Well, I thought y'all were the talking points. I thought y'all were the influencers. So why would Phil have to come out here and communicate with the masses when y'all are out here? Y'all claim y'all are out here talking to us. So what's the point of y'all if Phil's got to do it? That's what I'm saying. If Phil Spencer has to do it all, clean house. Phil, come out here, do a 10-minute, 15-minute show. We can all watch you talk to us. We don't need nobody else. You see? When I say that, that's a negativity. Oh, that's hey, here's how I react to that. That's my opinion. Direct gaming. Oh, they trash. All they do is talk about Xbox. Nah, you ain't coming here because we stand tall on Xbox. We're not Uni. This ain't the Uni show. This ain't the Uni show. There's people that he hang around with. We got 10, 12, 13 years of history on. He ain't fooling nobody. And it's a shame that anybody who even knows Phil Spencer or is that close to Phil Spencer would even associate themselves, would even be in that presence, that aura, and claim that they're representing the Xbox community. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell. So our community is divided. That's why we're like we are, because it's divided. You have an entity of influencers and YouTubers over here, and then you have the entity of the Xbox gamers over here. Both aren't doing the same thing. You know, the ones that are being told you're stupid for playing Redfall, they ain't the YouTubers. That ain't them. Because these guys are going to say Redfall's garbage. You know why? They're like boats with no sails, bro. They go wherever the waters take them. So wherever the narrative, like my man really said, that's where they're going to go. They better if they want the channels to stay up. We can't depend on something like that. We can't depend on something like that. That's goofy and corny, bro. There's a time and a place for that. But if we're gonna hold Phil Spencer accountable, then let's be real about it. Games Band's been out for 7 years. We can go on and on about the good things that he's done. All right? Phil Spencer made it clear he ain't for the console wars. Well, Phil, look, the only time Xbox made its highest sales was during the console wars. This kumbaya stuff with console ain't working. So we gonna like that's why the question was, so what do we do about the console space? Are we second-class citizens or what? Okay, we heard you. We heard you loud and clear. No, we're not leaving the consoles behind. Okay, we got it. But selling 50 million Xbox consoles, how's that building up the spirit of your community? When we look across the water and both the other consoles sell over 100 million. So you're going to have to make great games. The flip-floppers do exist, Phil. You can win 30, 40 million. You can win it. What do you think's going to happen if if Starfield comes out and it's 4K 60 frames locked? The flip-floppers ain't going to tell you that they went out and bought an Xbox or they opened up that Game Pass, they got that xCloud. They're not going to tell you that. But you and your team are going to see numbers far greater than what you got in your society. You're going to have to scratch your head and say, where are these numbers coming from? They coming from them. Because one thing about the Xbox community is it wants to be down. Nobody wants to feel like they're missing out. That's the beauty of gaming. So if you believe in that, there's always a fight. The real Xbox community don't care that Xbox is in third place, and it doesn't matter if we put out good games or not. That ain't how you talk to us, man. I'm just keeping it real.
You said don't care if we put out good games or not?
Yeah. It ain't gonna matter. Listen, that's the business standpoint, Phil. You told us don't worry about the business standpoint. Worry about the games.
Oh, if the games perform well or not.
Yeah, but then you came out on this show because you let the media press beat you down, right? Beat your community down. You let your fake ass influencers do all these wrong settings for temperature in the community, right? Now it's a big maelstrom going on. And he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand why, right? The word commitment is frustrating him. Phil, you're doing a good job, man. That ain't it. All right. I know you don't want to hear that right now, or you said it on that show. But look, man, Redfall's not a catastrophe. All right. Look, the 12-month period, okay, it ain't executed perfectly, but you're executing. You get that Forza Motorsport on out. You get that Starfield on out. You told us that you're gonna bring up that show and you're gonna show us some more games. Listen, we don't expect the Vow to come out this year. We didn't expect Hellblade 2 to come out this year. I don't know what people are talking about. We didn't expect what is it? Indiana Jones or Perfect Dark or Fable, any of them come out this year. We expect the games that were told to come out this year. That's what we expect. That's what we expected. And you got to deliver. I'm telling you, man, it's sad because nobody on that great Xbox team should be full of this much pressure. It don't make no sense. Me and Real scratch our head like, we don't get why Xbox has to have all this pressure. If it's third place, I want everybody to see this. Getting deep now, Realist. If something is third place, why is there pressure on the one that's on third place? Because the real Xbox fans know something. All right? Microsoft, this is what you do so well that the rest of your competitors don't do. You put out video games that are diverse, that give us different experiences all around in 1 year. You're able to have blind people drive a freaking car on Forza. They're beating up Phil Spencer, right? But that Xbox team just had a blind person drive a car on Forza. Realist, I've never seen anything that beautiful in my gaming history as a human being. When I saw that blind man knew that he wasn't crashing anymore. If you didn't have a soul, if that didn't move you, you don't have a soul, bro. You didn't have a soul. And I sat here and watched our leader. Something like that never got told to him on that interview. Phil, we saw how that blind man, reacted to playing Forza, Phil. One of the greatest things that ever happened in gaming never got brought up in that interview. Well, we want to hold Phil to Redfall. We want to beat him up. Because, Phil, you're a nice guy. Phil, it's time for you to stop being a nice guy. Because you know what you showed me? You showed me that you can have a little mean side to you, a little irritated side to you. And that's realistic, man. I want to tell you, that was good to see, bro. Even if there's some people saying, oh, that was part of the business. Well, if you fool me, Phil, that's great. But at least we saw it. So if I saw that you could be irritated, then I know you can fight. If you're not happy, Phil, as men, do something about it. As men, right? We do something about it. We've seen you, Phil, get up on stage, and we see how people react to you across the gaming industry. You have respect, Phil. But we also know they respect you when you're on stage. Because, Phil, it doesn't look good if they don't respect you when you're on stage. But, Phil, once you step off stage and the show is over, they back to being who they are about you. Because it's not what they do. It's not what they say, it's in what they do, Phil. These gaming whack-ass journalists, they were ready to bury Redfall before we even knew anything about 4K30. It was the attention of Redfall was built on the fact that Forspoken failed, Phil. This is how petty it is out here. I'm letting you know what they don't want to tell you, okay? Forspoken failed. It flopped hard. So the console war still exists, Phil. It's not an imaginary thing. They see that y'all were steadily going to put out video games this year. The only way for misery to love company, right, is to make the other side miserable. So it's funny how this work. It's a coincidence that Arcane wants to bring some people up to see the game. You brought the wrong people up. That was the first mistake. First mistake was that. Because then they came back lying. So everybody was pumped. And then Arcane comes out saying the direct opposite of what they were saying. So somebody was lying. Now it's a questionnaire out here. Well, what's it gonna be? We don't know. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out because these influencers were saying it's gonna be 60. Then when it finally didn't come out, guess what? It wasn't based off of the gameplay because they said the gameplay was good. Realists, Chit Chat Community.
Yep.
They lied. So what did they play? Did they not play Redfall? How can did the game change miraculously? You see where we're at? What happened? Because you had people, these influencers, talking. How many times are these influencers going to fail? How many times we keep letting them do this, right? And so now it gave what we call, Phil, ammunition. We call it the ammunition, Phil, down here. So once that happened, we knew that, man, if this comes out to be true, it's over. We knew. We knew. We're telling you the truth, Phil. We knew. And so we watched it. And then let's get it and let's beat it up. Because we got to get this game looking like Forspoken. So that we got a messed up game, they'll have a messed up game. But mind you, this game is still 4K, realists. This game is still 30 frames. We ain't had no 720p game. There ain't no outrage. There's no standard for PlayStation. You can see this. PlayStation had 2 720p games. They can get away with that. That's why I don't have a PlayStation. Phil, that's why I don't have a PlayStation. We got to stop acting like PlayStation sets these standards because let's be real. If we left it up to PlayStation, we would have a whole lot of failures. This is what they don't want to talk about. But over here, like I said, we don't have no PR team telling us what we can and cannot talk about. So let's just look at it. If I bought a PlayStation 5, let's go down the list. Returnal, gone. Ratchet & Clank, unsuccessful. Demon Souls, unsuccessful. Astrobot, gone. Godfall, gone. Babylon Falls, gone. Seafood, gone. All the bragging rights. Horizon Forbidden West, they don't even talk about. Gran Turismo 7, in the mystery box. Lo and behold, out of 10 games, God of War gets spoken about. Let's go back to reality. Forspoken, gone. In the midst of Forspoken, PlayStation VR 2 comes out. Gone. Now, let's go even deeper. Y'all ready? Buckle up. If Microsoft is a direct competitor to Sony, they're not competing. Microsoft ain't in the VR space, so why isn't Sony succeeding? Nobody's there. Oculus is there. PlayStation is the only console brand in VR space. Microsoft ain't there. Microsoft ain't bothering Sony there. So what happened to PlayStation VR 2, people? What's your excuse for it to fail? Come on, let's be real. So if we're leaving it up to PlayStation, we ain't going nowhere. All we're doing is catching L's left and right. Then the president comes out, Phil, and tells the whole entire world that they don't even buy games. So I'm here today to tell the Xbox community, play your video games. The donkeys tie on to these damn games because they control the narrative. Because like I've told y'all for years, they don't care about the games. Haven't I not said that, realist? They don't care about the sales. I've said this. Anybody who's been the general, I've said this. The only thing they care about is as long as the PlayStation console outsells Xbox. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it outsells the Xbox, they're content. That's what's going on in the PlayStation community today. You go on online, there's a PlayStation 5 for you today. They only ship 6 million consoles for the whole world. 6 million. So why the hell are they not sold out, people? Because they ain't buying it. And they ain't buying the video games. But guess what? We're hearing in the newspapers that Sony's making a new PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, how does that make any sense? If they're not buying video games, what the hell is a new console going to do? That don't make no sense. Play your games. Don't let them dictate. Play your games. Get on Twitter and tag Phil Spencer. To all my real Xbox fans, forget these funky ass influencers that Microsoft fails to believe in. We know who they are. We know who they surround themselves with. They're not fooling nobody. So if you get on Twitter and you tag Phil Spencer on some honesty, don't feel ashamed. He needs to see you, the real Xbox fan. He needs to see you. Shane G, demonstrate for these people, man. You got people like Shane G out here. Go support him. He shouldn't be alone out there. Damn, y'all want to see some change? Well, fight with the people who are brave enough to speak. We know that most people are wildebeest mentality. We just gonna go where the crowd go. We know this. We know this just off the basic common sense of society. We know only a few people are gonna stand up, and you don't think they don't know that? Why do you think they got these fake influencers out here with these fake followers? They got bot followers. Ain't nobody following these clowns. They ain't got no 67,000 of these people following them. Come on, man. Y'all believe that? Then you believe that I got a bridge in the sky that I want to sell to you. If you don't know this PR magic, man, then you just don't need to be talking. But Xbox ain't good with it. Because for some reason, somebody in the Xbox high-ups don't like Xbox fans. They don't even know what one looks like. I'm not here trying to kumbaya. Listen, I don't dislike a PlayStation fan. Let's just be clear, right? I have a Nintendo Switch, if that makes you feel better. For some reason, once again, we have to let people know that we got to have more than just the Xbox. Because if you just have an Xbox as a gamer, you're not a gamer. Because what's that standard? If you're a real gamer, then you buy all the consoles. Who said that? Oh, that sounds so stupid, bro. Because
Xbox fans who switch to PlayStation.
Right. I'm gonna put it like this: 90. It's like germs. When you go buy you a disinfectant spray where it says 99.99%, well, 99.99%. If you hear something that stupid, it comes out of the PlayStation camp. Because it ain't never been about how many damn consoles you got that validates you as a gamer. It's never been that in the history of gaming. They asking this man, it's as a real Xbox fan, it was dreadful to watch that interview. It was almost laughter. You either was like, man, rubbing your head, or you just laughing because you knew it was all fake. I mean, come on, Phil. Come on. They got you going over here on an Animal Crossing show. God dang it, man. We down bad. Animal Crossing? We can't get Phil on a Minecraft show, but we got him over here on Animal Crossing. Minecraft, #1 game in the world. We can't get him on a Minecraft show, but we got him on an Animal Crossing show. Get an interview. Man, help us, bro. Man, we're in a bad place, man. You got to laugh at this, man. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? As long as Xbox been out, right? You can't make this up, y'all. You almost got to damn near laugh about this shit. As long as Xbox came out, we don't have a real. Listen, y'all. Look, I'm being honest. We don't have a real Xbox show on YouTube, realist.
Yeah, we do not. We do not have a real Xbox outlet.
Thank you. If we do, leave me there.
They can't. I can't.
You can't. Leave me there. Damn. No, let me stop. I lied. Realist, we wasn't thinking. Yes, we do.
Who?
Major Nelson. Don't you go there.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I give it to him. I mean, if you want to go to down that the Ben Stein monotone put me to sleep route. You got Brad Sams. I guess he's as close as you get to.
Look, Major Nelson's my guy, right? Even when I think of Major Nelson, I think of one of the greatest hype men ever in gaming. Not on Xbox, in gaming, man. And I'm being honest. There should be an award for hype men. He should have a Gaming Hype Man award from Microsoft. I'm being serious. I'm not joking when I say this. Like I said, I take myself seriously. Okay. It's really sweet. Listen, man, this is what look, this is why, hey, when I got off early today, I'm telling you, man, I was ready to go. I'm ready to go in. All right. We got Major Nelson out here, right? The greatest, in my opinion, the greatest. This guy, the things that he's done as far as commentary for Xbox is unparalleled, man. He's a legend. We got this guy over here, and he can't even get views. This is the Xbox community, realist. And I know, listen, like we said, this is opinions, man. All right? We're accepting opinions. So nobody, whatever realist says, can't get mad at him, right? Because we set this standard of opinions. Realist said the show is boring. All right? So if you're listening to your real Xbox fan, no, it's all good. You said the show is boring, right? Look, there are times when the show is boring. I'm not going to lie. But Major Nelson here's what Major Nelson doesn't fall short of. He doesn't fall short of giving us the raw content aspirations of Xbox. He don't fail there. It's just Major Nelson, man, put some Xbox fans on your show. I'm being serious. We have the greatest hype man. This guy can get anybody on his show. As a matter of fact, he can go on Twitter and you can do and just look, because it could be a standard, right? You can't just be finesse, right, Major Nelson? You go up on Twitter and say, look, once a week during the show, we do the fans show, right? A fan show. You got to put your name in and retweet, right? So when we hit you up, you got to show us, you got to give us your gamer tag. We'll look and see if you play these Xbox games. If you don't get a response for us, we know you was a joke. We moved on to somebody else. Because like I said, the lie never starts when you can hear the lie. The lie starts in the hearts of men. And when I say men, I'm talking male and female. The lie starts within that person. That person knows before they even open up their mouth if they're getting ready to tell a lie. But you want to know something? I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. Maybe I just don't know, right? But there's one thing I do know, realists and chit-chat community. that Xbox has lost its damn identity out here, man. And it's sad to see. Because mission accomplished. You ended up getting Microsoft, the leader. You went up, got Optimus Prime to look the way he looked. Are y'all not happy? Are you not entertained? You got him. You succeeded. The only thing I can say now is I hope Microsoft wins the CMA. I hope games come to damn Microsoft by the floodgates. I don't care what they got to do. You put those Activision games in Game Pass. You let that Game Pass be what you damn market. You market the hell out of Game Pass like there's no tomorrow. You get that money from Game Pass and you get those third-party studios rolling. And I, the new legal, as one of your real Xbox fans, can tell you this. When them games start coming out, you will see that I didn't lie to you. That I know for a fact that there's some gamers out here that are going to go buy Xbox because Xbox is delivering. Y'all deliver like no other brand. We can play Mario Brothers all day long. We know what we're getting when we buy a Zelda. We know what we're getting when we buy Mario Brothers. We did not know what we're getting when we got Redfall. That's the beauty of Microsoft. That's the beauty of Xbox games. And even though Arcane just got bought, but they're Xbox now. We didn't know what we was getting. 4-player co-op, online only, open world. Thank you. Thank you, Xbox. That's the reason why I buy your games. Everybody else gives me over the shoulder, walk around, want me to fall in love with this character, want me to go to bed with them, want me to think about them, how they look cute on screen, you know, what they do sexually. Bro, listen, man, I'm here to play a freaking game, bro. If I want that experience, I go watch something on TV. I'm not here for no agendas. All right. I'm here to have fun playing an Xbox game with my buddies. The biggest games that people play have none of that in it. So let's stop being fake. Let's just be real. That's why at the beginning of that show that you was getting interviewed on, when they talked about our partnership, these are the games they named: Fortnite, Fall Guys, and Rocket League. Ain't no real Xbox players playing them games like that. We ain't never talked about no service games. We talk about Halo, Gears of War, Forza, Fable. Those are the cornerstone blocks for the Xbox community. Then out of that, we've got Forza Horizon, that series. We've had games like Quantum Break. We've had games like Dead Rising 3 that to this day they ain't made a sandbox zombie apocalypse game yet like that. Dead Island 2 come close, but it still ain't like that Dead Rising 3. They ain't never made a game like Rise. You only get those kind of games on Xbox. We got those experiences. That Gears Tactics, unbelievable. Never thought I'd play a great game like that. Never thought that strategy type shooter would captivate me because y'all were able to nail that story. I'm a all-time Gears nut. I was ranked top 10 in the world on Gears 3. Koth, King of the Hill. Ain't none of these clowns out here that you got as influence put that time of work on any of your games. They ain't ran not one game. Some of them don't even know what they talking about when they do start to talk about video games. That's why they don't run their own shows. They know. That's why they don't have their own shows. They know. They have shows that are goofy, that want to get you up on here and ask you questions that the streets already know the answers to. That's what we had to hear today. That interview didn't tell no real Xbox gamer nothing. I'm gonna let you know that now.
We didn't
learn. Right, we didn't learn a thing. They were out here talking about delay the game. We were out here talking about we don't have to delay the game.
Play the game.
Why you got to delay it? Redfall for? What did it need to be delayed for? Fix it. It's an online only game. Fix it. Fix it. You fix an online only game. And then they had the nerve to mention the games that were done before. Listen, Sea of Thieves. They try to kill it. State of Decay 2, they tried to kill it. Cyberpunk, they tried to, come on, man. This ain't the first time. Give it some time. But no, we had to be just like the narrative. Whatever the narratives are is always going to be a Sony thing. So, hey, guess what? If we got Forspoken, how dare Microsoft keep putting out games for their community? We got to at least get one down. We got to attack one of them. We got to do something. You see what I'm saying? They went out first initiative. Their first initiative was, oh, the game is great. Now they played it in single player. So you're telling me that co-op is not a better experience than the single player? Is that what you're telling me? So if I play Double Dragon by myself, it's not more fun if I play Double Dragon with a partner? Or if I play Streets of Rage by myself? It's not more fun if I play with a teammate? Is that what you're telling me? If I play State of Decay 2 by myself, it's not better than playing with 2 or 3 more people?
You've been playing games too long to know the answer to that.
Thank you. Thank you. So the minute they came back yapping their gums about, oh, it was great. I never played the co-op, though. I haven't never experienced that. I knew that was the red flag right there. So if you only played that game, right, and you only had a single player experience, why am I listening to you? You can't properly represent that game. So then you got your real ones out here. You had me, Realist. You had Beast. You had Game Trails. You had Steve-O. You had JyzalGamingTV. We were all out here playing that game. I recorded. Hey, if it's buggy, listen, if it's buggy, y'all will get a chance to see it. If it's an ugly ass game, you're going to get a chance to see it. If the game is not fun, you're going to get a chance to see it. And we put 2 hours of that. And I had so much fun playing Redfall. There's something wrong when the media has to lie. When the media is lying, something's wrong. Something's wrong. That game ain't a bad game. But if you're looking at it as a business aspect, why am I worrying about that, Phil? When you told us not to look at it. You told me not to care about the console wars or the business aspect. So why should they talk? Why in the interview are they talking about the business aspects of it? If you yourself told us don't worry about that, we'll work that out. The only thing we as gamers can say is, man, get that 60 frames out. We just want to have a good time. We just want to have a good time. That's our game. We know what it's all about. The other side can't play it, so they're mad. We get it. We understand. So we're going to make you pay because we don't have that game. Oh, and it was coming on our platform. Are we really going to get y'all now? And they'll lie to you, Phil, and say that ain't the truth. Okay. All right. Keep not listening to the real Xbox fans and see what happens to Xbox. Watch. We're already right here. We're already right here. We're right here. They got them to where the word commitment leaves a bad taste in our leader's mouth. The word commitment, man. That's crazy. Realist, that's crazy, man.
Now, what are you talking about commitment and Phil Spencer? What happened?
Yeah, man. If you didn't watch it all, right? It's like Phil, when he's saying commitment, he don't feel good saying it because it's like what I get from it is, man, I don't want you to feel like when you say the word commitment, Phil, that you're lying to me. Listen, I understand. What you're committed to is you're committed to our experience. You want to make sure that we're having a good time. So we understand that. You can always use the word commitment. We ain't going to ever look at that. Hell, if anything, we want to hear that. But the job is to do it. Just do it. There's no pressure. Get out here, talk to your fan base. Listen to it. Listen to it. We didn't need influencers then, Phil. We don't need them now. We didn't need them in the beginning. We don't need them now. We don't need nobody talking for us when they don't even know gaming themselves. Bro, you got people.
But you're talking as if we are coexisting with a community of gamers, man.
Right.
We're coexisting with a community of tweeters, YouTube, forum, Reddit guys. They're not playing games. So if we're only talking about the media, right? We're only talking about the media influence. Because look at you brought it up. I don't know the guy, but I saw the article when he brought up the PlayStation can't sell their games, right? Then that's not okay. They're not selling enough of their games. They're selling a lot of consoles, but they're not selling enough of their games. That just goes to show you what we're dealing with, right? That's why they're always talking about sales. We can bring up as many games as we want that Xbox brought out, that we're playing them, that we like them. That doesn't matter because Xbox didn't sell enough consoles, right? To them, that's all that matters. And you said that earlier. They're attached to the box. That's it. They don't care about the games. And that's the difference between them and us. But what I'm about is kind of separating the wheat from the chaff in this community and the people that I interact with. I don't want to interact with people who aren't even gaming. All they can do is talk about gaming and type up tweets. Right? They can go run and make a video, but they're not playing any games. Those are the people that I have an issue with. The people who can go to Twitter and harass Xbox fans, but they're scared to show what they're doing on games. There's no screenshots, no videos, no nothing. All it is just talking. We're supposed to be a community of gamers. All these cross-play games and nobody's playing games, right? That's Xbox, right? I know that a lot of people say that PlayStation tried to do it back in the 360 generation, but hey, that's the past, and Phil's trying to do it now. So let's get it done. I'm kind of tired of talking about all these weirdos on these platforms that don't play games, that don't do anything to enrich the community, but it seems as though my community cares about it. So every now and then I'll speak on it, but I'm about these games, man. And Phil, I still don't quite understand what you're talking about when it comes to commitment and his issue with commitment. I mean, to me, he can't commit because he's not a developer. And until they give him a concrete date, he can't commit to anything. But he did name some games. See, the fact that he even threw Hellblade out there, that's a positive. Because a lot of times they operate in secrecy. They don't even want to talk about anything. But he brought up some games, and I'm like, okay, all right. So if it's on their mind, and if it's close enough to be on their mind, then that's a good thing to me because I want to see Hellblade. I want to see whatever Wild. I want to see what happened with Everwild because all we got now is leaks. So the commitment thing. Look, they can't commit to anything. And I've said this so many times. If you're an Xbox fan, you understand they didn't start buying studios until 2017. And majority of those studios did release games, yet they're not exclusive. But it's going to take time for them to come up with their next title. And if you don't understand that as an Xbox fan, then go play your PlayStation and let's wait for Spider-Man, right? And whatever they come out with next year, right? Since that's the standard, right? You brought up standards earlier. Since that's the standard, go over there and see how great it is. Right? Because whether I like these games or not, they're here. That's the argument the PlayStation fans always made, right? When you bring up the fact that they're not playing the games, that they're not buying the games, well, it was the option was there. All right, the option is here. A lot of people didn't like Redfall, had issues with Redfall. Fine. The option was there to play it. Xbox gave us an additional option to partake in if we so choose. And they didn't. Fine. Minecraft, back to back. Benjamin Fox, all these games are in Game Pass. No, all of them are not exclusive. But if you have the option there, and I don't think Phil is ever going to be a Peter Moore type because they're trying to transcend that and be everywhere. They want to take a ubiquitous approach. They want to be PC, right? But he did say something that piqued my interest and made me say, okay, maybe he is on point more than I'm giving him credit for. When he said he wants the console players, their most loyal player, to feel like they're not a second-class citizen, to not feel like they're second fiddle to anything. So that lets me know that he's hearing the people who say that because they are expending a lot of energy in other sectors like PC and cell phones, right, or cloud. So it's on their mind. And I heard a lot of positives, but I also heard them playing the game. I heard them playing the game saying that he's not here to be happy, right? He's overpaid. He's playing down now because the sentiment out there is all on Phil, so he's gonna play to it. But I got news for all the Phil haters: he ain't going anywhere until he says so, right? But Bethesda doesn't come without Phil Spencer, so y'all need to jump off that train while you still can, or you can eat crow later, or go Meet the Ponies on PlayStation whenever you can find them. But that's all I got to say about that right there, though, legal man. We gotta start narrowing down our focus and finding the real people in the community to deal with. Because as long as we keep trying to worry about these guys on the other side that were never Xbox fans, may never be Xbox fans until it's the popular vote, we'll always be frustrated and irritated and complaining about them. Because the reason why I came here is because you was an Xbox fan. But the main reason I came here is because I saw a video where you spoke on gaming culture, and we're older people, man. Where we came from, it wasn't cool to be a gamer. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, man, something was wrong with you. We spoke on this so many times, and when you spoke on the gaming culture, that was all facts. I wish you would just put a link up so everybody can understand, because obviously enough people didn't view that video to understand that gaming had a culture, and it still does, but the culture is totally warped now. Now it's about telling lies and trying to see how many likes you can get on a video or a tweet instead of gaming and having real gaming conversations with real gaming. But that's what brought me here. That's what brought me to your channel, listening to your content, listening to you when you were only on here by yourself, going on for an hour and a half talking about Xbox. Look, at the end of the day, call it cap or whatever. It's yours. It's your platform. It's your platform of choice, and you were unwavering about it. And that's what we need. That's what we need in this community, because there's too many people that's trying to play both sides, trying to defend themselves in advance before the PlayStation fan can get to them. I need to complain so that when they say something, I can say, yeah, I agree. No, I mean, you don't have, if you're in agreement, it's fine. But I'm just seeing too much of people just going back and forth, preaching the same thing. Man, now you texted me. What you say now?
No, I remember, man, that you're doing a good job, man. I remember when you told me about today, up in the spaces, and you mentioned some things. You said, man, I jumped out of there after 5 minutes, man, because people are just saying the same old stuff.
Well,
you
he's
know,
talking about that particular space, bro. And when
yeah,
I heard that dude say what he always said the same thing he said on the little show, man. But that's the thing. PlayStation fans will never get enough of hearing somebody beat down Xbox, because most of these people with these huge followings, the majority of their following is not Xbox, it's PlayStation.
I hope Phil Spencer's listening to you.
He's
really
not,
do.
but he should be listening to people or channels like this where we actually support Xbox and appreciate what they do. Yes, they could do better. No, they're not perfect, but they laid the play down there, and I can read it. I see what's going on. I'm also not one of these idiots out here that expect 5-year development cycles to be condensed into 3. Redfall's been out for 5 years. Yeah, I like the game, but it's not perfect.
Facts.
Right? And that was more than 5 years. So at some point that game has to come out. And we already have 2 more games that are scheduled and maybe another shadow drop. We're still waiting on Stalker and other games that they announced. June 11th is going to tell the tale. We're just going to have to see if they're able to execute and keep their dates. They can't make commitments, but they also need to get out of the mode of trying to compete with Sony, because Sony, okay, not compete with Sony in the way that Sony can announce a game that's 3 or 5 years away, and the people will stay excited for that long. They can't do that. They just need to let us know that they have studios, they have things that are in the works, and let us know what's going on with Game Pass. A lot of people didn't like the 12-month schedule, but I liked it. They didn't hit on all their games, but even games that weren't Xbox first party didn't hit their dates for 12 months.
And I'm glad you said that, because y'all know this saying, it really doesn't matter what Xbox does, man. People gonna complain. Xbox is the platform where you come and complain on. So, and Xbox is the platform where nothing they do is ever too good. It's not good enough. That's the platform. All right. So As Dust Falls wasn't good enough, realist, because it didn't fit the narrative. Wasn't a AAA. Pentiment that won Gotti Awards. Wasn't AAA. High on Life. Wasn't AAA. Phil brought us Flight Simulator that I tried, and I can't get into it, but I flew a plane Realist, I flew a plane. And you want to know one of the things I did? I went to the place I was born on that Air Force base. I went all the way to Cali, man. I went to Edwards Air Force Base, man. And I was just like, wow. The area where I was born, I flew over, right? It only matters when it's something like Forza Horizon 5. And that's the shame. That's the shame, because nobody ever says these things when it's on other platforms. These other platforms can have these games that nobody ever heard of, and they're not held to these standards. It's just because you got to understand the history of Xbox. Xbox was here to compete. It was here to compete. It was here to get in here and do the things that nobody else wanted to do or was doing. So it's the rebel. It's the rebel console. I'm glad Phil Spencer mentioned the reason why. Just if you're going to be an Xbox fan, understand that we probably will never be number one as far as, being accepted, because you're part of the community that gets your games blocked. Our games get blocked. So how can we know that Xbox is great when you got other companies scared to compete with Xbox? That's why don't ever tell me to go buy a PlayStation console. Nintendo's not blocking games, but Nintendo isn't doing anything for me anymore. My kids want a Nintendo, they get it on Christmas. That's how I look at it. I'm not buying Nintendo just for the fact I'm buying a Nintendo so I can tell somebody, well, I got the new Nintendo console. Those days are over, if they ever exist again. So I'm back to my own one console form again. And I got plenty of games to keep me busy. And I want to thank Xbox for allowing me to, something happens with my controllers for this next gen, I can use my Xbox One controllers. And I got a whole bunch of controllers. I'm not stuck. All my stuff works. I'm not just sitting on one platform. I don't have no cheap backwards compatibility. Microsoft really puts in the work. But I'm giving the mic back to Realist because he's doing such a great job, and I want you to keep going, man. We really need to touch on this. We ain't tired. It's what we do. The Xbox community deserves this, Realist. You have a lot to say. There's a lot of things that Realist says, man, that just needs to be said. Take the mic, man. I'll be back, Realist. Don't even worry. I got you, bro. You're doing a good job.
Yeah, but just what Eba said, man. The number one rule of a real gamer is to play games, not critic games. But that's unfortunate. As a part of this culture, we've been converted into thinking that we are an extension of media. We spend too much time talking about, game scores, how long a game has been in development, the things that the media should care about. Like, we should just be caring about the games. We spend more time talking about games that are coming instead of embracing the games that we already do have. So I guess in that way they were successful, right? We are more engaged with the workings of games than actually going out there and playing the game and experiencing the games that we already have. And I've been talking about that for a while. I'm pretty much tired of people that feel like that's what gaming is about. Talking about, how many exclusives you have compared to the other exclusives you have, how many you have in development, how many were done in the past. All that means nothing. We got to be playing these games. I mean, what are we doing? Like, we all media members, and none of us are getting paid. We don't get paid. Well, I don't get paid for YouTube, and most people don't that are on YouTube. We do it because we like it. But we've taken too much attention away from the actual hobby of gaming and created a sub-genre in it that has nothing to do with what brought us here in the first place. So, it is what it is, man. And yep, hey, see, the Rain said he looked out for a lot of people, man. He had pictures looking like he was a scalper, man, but he was selling them for retail. I guess he was just delivering it to people who couldn't get their hands on them. But again, you're right. And it's up to us to, when we see that, stop putting so much energy into people who would direct you in that direction over actually playing these games. Now, I don't know what made you guys Xbox fans, but what made me an Xbox fan is back in the day, the option was Dreamcast or PlayStation. Why would I play on PlayStation when my Dreamcast was already better than PlayStation? Then the PlayStation 2 came out, and I found out. See, I didn't know. Like, media was not like this. We weren't invested in media, and that might just be the difference of why I don't understand really how people operate now. Back then, you had a magazine. That magazine came out once a month. I mean, you had a few different publications, but they came out once a month, and in between times, you had to be playing games. If you're going to be in the hobby, you just play the games. Now we got the internet, and people spend more time on Google and Twitter than actually playing games. But when the opportunity came to buy a new console, it was to go get a PlayStation that was still using a memory card, or go buy a Xbox that had an online game called Mech Assault that gave me the ability to rip my CDs and play my own music while I'm playing my games. I was on the side of innovation when I went with Microsoft. That's why I was with Xbox. That's why I've always had an Xbox. When it came to PlayStation, in addition to that, they never had the games that I wanted. I never cared about the game. I was turned off from JRPGs a long time ago. Now I'm giving them a chance, but I didn't care about Final Fantasy. I mean, I don't like to read my games. I like to play my games. And so, hey, I went with Xbox. Xbox had Mech Assault and Splinter Cell. Those were the first two games I had. And I've been with Xbox ever since. And a lot of people that I notice that are Xbox fans, hell, some of them don't even know why they're with Xbox. They don't even know how to talk about Xbox. So when you listen to them and you see what they have to say about Xbox, it makes no sense. That's why they do so much complaining. It's like, if you like the PlayStation so much, and you like what PlayStation is doing, why aren't you playing a PlayStation? Why are you sitting over here complaining about Xbox and what they're doing? That's why I don't understand the people who go back and forth. You can't get anything steady out of them. I don't know what made them an Xbox fan in the first place. You know, we had online when nobody else had online, right? Yeah, it costed money, but shoot, I mean, the price to play. I was able to play in the one with T.O. on the cover, NFL 2K. That was another thing back when it started. People were playing Game Day and Madden. I don't even think they had Madden on PlayStation. People were playing Game Day, and I was playing NFL and NBA 2K. My players looked real. Randy Moss, he had gorilla arms, but he looked like Randy Moss. They were sweating. They had jerseys. AI looked like Allen Iverson. Like, why would I go over there just because everybody else is over there? All my cousins had a PlayStation. And then when I come over, they would say, no, PlayStation's still better. That's tight though. But you develop that brand loyalty because, you know, I wanted Legal to kind of get into this because we spoke about it offline. When Phil said that they can't just release good games and expect everything to fall into place, because that's not how these other Japanese empires were built. People didn't buy PlayStation because they had the great games. People bought PlayStations because they were the only game in town, right? Nintendo was dying. Sega was in the process of dying. Then here comes PlayStation with their brand new console, plays CDs. Next generation, they come out, they're playing DVDs when nobody else has a DVD player. People didn't go to PlayStation because they wanted to play the next PlayStation game. PlayStation didn't have any games. They didn't have any studios. They bought up exclusivity. They pretty much put Nintendo in the kitty corner where they remain today, and they're thriving. I'm actually happy that Nintendo was able to survive in the way that they have, because they could have been gone. Would have been down to Nintendo and Xbox, hoping that Xbox would compete with Sony on exclusivity deals. And then now they're buying publishers instead of exclusivity deals. And you got these so-called Xbox fans complaining about that. We need Xbox to compete with these exclusivity deals. But nobody's really just like, man, shut up, bro. They're about to spend $70 billion on Activision, or they're trying their best to give this money to Activision and Bobby over there. But CMA and Lena Khan, FTC don't want to let them give it to them. We should pay attention to what's going on with Xbox instead of complaining about every little thing that they have going on. But I've been with Xbox all this time. I know why I'm here. I just like to appreciate, acknowledge, and see, and let them know when I see them, the people that let it be known that they're Xbox fans and why. You know, when I got on internet in Xbox, I tried to find like Xbox communities. You know, most of the guys they flip by now on YouTube. Most of them flip. One of them came back and actually like gave a very great explanation of what happened with Phil today. That's the doo-doo gamer, right? The crap gamer. You know, I was like, man, I never thought that I would be shouting this dude out for dropping bars. But he basically explained everything that happened today in a nutshell. You know, but let's see what Sick had to say. Man, that's the difference between them and us. Like Xbox, most of the Xbox fans, we're so small. When I say the Xbox fans, I mean the real deal Xbox fans, the ones who gonna stand in a square and take their blows and hit back. Like it's so few, and the ones that that are like that, we don't stand together. See, the PlayStation fans, they'll all stand together behind some BS. Like it could be totally false, but they'll all get behind it just to shut down the Xbox side or the Xbox person that's speaking the truth. We don't get that over here. I don't know who you're talking to, but the whole thing's probably on the hand. Yeah, Jake. Hey, I would bet I haven't seen everybody who's in the chat, but most people who are in this chat are real Xbox fans. That's why when I see y'all, I try to shout y'all out. I follow y'all on the internet when I see y'all first, if I don't already follow y'all, because I know if you're here, you can't be nothing but, I hate to use it because I don't know who created the term. You can't be anything but a bot if you follow a channel like this. If you follow somebody who's going to stand on that Xbox square, you can't be anything but an Xbox fan or a hater. You know, and I try my best to, you know, ignore the people who are not here for Xbox, that are here not to bring anything to the table. Because my biggest issue, my biggest issue with any PlayStation fan, this is from family members on down, is they can rarely ever tell me why they like their PlayStation. Now, my family members, they don't hate Xbox, but they can't tell me what it is about PlayStation that made them a PlayStation fan. They just bought a PlayStation. You know, my brother-in-law, hey, can you help me get a PlayStation? I was like, why? You can play all these games on PlayStation 4. You don't need a PlayStation. But he just wanted to have a PlayStation. I told him, I said, hey, man, that one game that you play, I play in Game Pass every year for free. And that's the baseball game, whatever it is, the show. He's paying $70 for that game. He's already had it on PlayStation. And here I am playing it in a service at no additional cost. But if that's the only game he plays, yeah, it doesn't make sense to get a service. But the whole point of the service is to introduce you into new games that you wouldn't normally be playing. So, yep. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, see, legal would just talk. And when I try to say something, he ready. He's ready. He's like, I want you here, but then when I come, he's got so much to say. Hey, man, I just let him flow. But man, I've been playing this Redfall. I'm sitting here playing this Redfall now. And hey, if you can't work your way through the bugs, skip it until they fix it or find something else to play. But for me, I'm thoroughly enjoying the game. I hope that Xbox gives them the opportunity to make it right. Well, I know they will. I just hope that the Xbox fans, you know, don't give up on them, because especially if you spent your money on it, you will want them to fix it. Especially if you're not taking your, if you didn't refund the game, you got to know what you're getting into with a lot of these games with Xbox. You know, Xbox is going to build these games out. I thought this game would be a little bit more fleshed out than it is, but it's not. But what's here, it's just like Halo. People complained about Halo, but Halo came out with a nice campaign. The campaign was right. It's the multiplayer. And if you're a multiplayer only player, then yeah, you're gonna have a problem. And I understand your complaints. Damn, I'm dead. Redfall is a blast. But yeah, man, hey, my gamer tag, because some guy thought my name was cooler before I did. He took the realest one, so mine is the realest one with a Z. I'm always looking the game up. And my thing when it comes to people saying that this game is a failure or this, that, and the third, I have no problem finding a match when it's time to squad up. 2 minutes, I hit the LFG and I find a whole squad of people that are ready to play this game. Now, the thing I don't like is that your progress doesn't track with you from game to game. That's one of the things. Like it kind of discourages you from playing. Now you do get to go find some weapons and maybe get lucky and find some legendaries, but for the most part, it doesn't really encourage you, to go join other people's games because you're not going to keep, a lot of your progress in the game. And I don't like playing games twice. I don't like playing missions twice. So that's kind of a turnoff, but you can't deny the fun that you'll have. It's kind of like when you play State of Decay. Everything that you've done in State of Decay, you've already done. But the fact that you have people there playing with you just makes it better. Or like Legal said, makes it that much better, that much more better. I thought I was country, but that boy's country too. Even more country than me. But y'all know we Texas boys, man. Hey, but Legal, you gotta give him his props because he articulated it perfectly. And this is a dude who we said, hey, he can't come back. I never thought that he would be the one coming with bars. I never thought that he would be the one that's spitting some kind of facts for me to have to say, man, crap gamer, bro. But what he said was true. And we should applaud Microsoft for not being afraid to not hit 90 on the Metacritic scale. We should applaud them for not trying to hit the standard of the gaming media in that way. Because when you're trying to do something that will gain approval, you find yourself falling into a pattern or a cookie cutter. You find yourself doing the same thing. And not to take shots at PlayStation, but if you really pay attention, most of their games do the same thing. They follow the same formula because it's considered a winning formula, right? And Legal asked something, but I was letting him flow. He asked something earlier. He was saying that why is it that Microsoft has to explain what's going on, but Sony doesn't? Because Sony is the market leader and it's perceived that they are winning. So if they're winning, they must be doing it right. But us as fans and us as people who dissect the industry, we see that what they're doing is not foolproof. What they're doing is not Loctite, because the number one reason you should be here, right? Unless you're Steam, is to sell your first party content as much of it as you can, not to just be a storefront. If Sony had to do what they relegated Nintendo do and basically depend on their first party content exclusively, there would not be a PlayStation. The same thing for Xbox, but Xbox has never tried to box other customers or other companies out. Even when they got Tomb Raider, it was because they didn't have anything to compete in the action adventure space, right? Outside of Gears, but nothing that was, that put you in the mind of a Tomb Raider, which was a carbon of Indiana Jones. And now if you look at what Microsoft's doing with Machine, they've got Indiana Jones, the real OG, the one that started it all, about to be a first party title. And I'm hoping that's exclusive because that's all, and I'm pretty sure that it will be at this point, because contracts you can rework them, especially when there's no game. All you had is a splash screen. I hope it's exclusive. Not because I hate PlayStation or they need to go get their own games, but because it's what Xbox always wanted. It's what Xbox has been trying to do for years, is to create a game to compete in that genre. And we got Hellblade, which is pretty much the same thing. Who's the original thief? No, nothing's perfect, but only on the internet is everybody rich and everybody's perfect and nobody makes mistakes until they make mistakes. So, it's hard for me to find interest in even responding to a lot of these narratives that we see on social media, on the internet, because I know that's not real life. I know that real people don't interact with life on a daily basis that way. So it's kind of hard for me to really give it any credence. Notice like a lot of people, they pay attention to things that really, to me, it doesn't matter. And if it matters to you, have at it. let us know how you feel, but I don't really care, man. In the kids market, well, no, Nintendo saved Nintendo, because there are a fair amount of adults that I see. In all honesty, I've never seen a gamer go into the store and say, let me have that Xbox and let me have Halo 2. I've never seen somebody say, hey, do you guys have PlayStation 5s? Yeah, well, hell, now this generation, they don't have a choice because it's bundled. But before there were bundles, I never heard anybody ask for a PlayStation console and let me have this PlayStation game with it. It's always a third party game that goes with it. But there have been at least 5 times when I've been in a store and somebody wanted a Switch and they came in and specifically asked for a Mario Crossing game, Ring Fitness game, things like that. Nintendo is Nintendo. And when it comes to gaming and strategies, I know Microsoft sees what Sony's doing. They see what Nintendo's doing. And if I was Microsoft, I would be doing the same thing that they're doing. They see that Nintendo doesn't depend on anybody, right? They might get companies to come in to make games for them, but there's no one third-party title that they're beholden to. Microsoft could take Minecraft, even though it's probably one of the more popular games there, and it'll still be all right. When Call of Duty was not being made on Nintendo, they were just fine. They have no sports games of note other than Mario sports games. But it's their games. Let's just say it is the kids. It's still Nintendo's property that's bringing people to their console, and that's what Xbox is working on right now. And this is what Sony is trying to address, but they can't. They're raising the price on the games, but they still need more people to buy their content. At least Microsoft has figured out that if I can get people to subscribe to a service, be it $1 off a Dorito can or $15 a month or prepay, they're going to have this service and they're going to see my games. And at some point, they're going to boot up one of my games because I'm going to put it on the front page and I'm going to show it and I'm going to highlight it. So when they play that game, maybe it only sells 2 million like a Hi-Fi Rush. But when Hi-Fi Rush 2 comes, there'll be more people looking for it. There'll be more people that know the IP. Nintendo got to where it is because they've been around longer than anybody with their IP. See, a lot of people look at Sony and think that what Sony's doing is something special, but it's not. The most special thing that they did was provide a low-cost DVD player back in the day and make people believe that theirs was the best. Right? That's where they succeeded at. But even after all of that, they're still having issues being able to sell their first-party content, and that's the problem. They need more people buying their games. They need more people there for their games, because when you have a company like Activision and they decide to sell their Call of Duty game, what do? You got to cry, kick and scream and hope that a deal doesn't go through, because it could shatter everything that you've built. Your whole foundation is shattered because of something you didn't own and didn't control, right? You controlled it for as long as you were paying for it. But when you look at Nintendo, they say we don't even care about third parties. What's the purpose of everybody selling the same games? So that's why I'm kind of against like just saying it's a kids console when you got all these adults playing them. You know, even if they were kids, right? We were all kids, and we're supposed to be Xbox fans, and most of us here have a Switch in the house. Somebody in the house has a Switch, so you are a part of that. And if you have kids, you can't share your Switch game, so guess what? You got to go buy another Switch. That's the reason why the Switch is what it is right now. 2 of my kids have a Switch. I have a Switch that I haven't turned on in months. I might need to see if it still works. You know, that's what they've been able to do. There are adults who've been playing Mario's. Like, I don't play anymore. I'm done. This is my last Nintendo generation, especially if they don't do cross-gen right. I'll be done with Nintendo after this. But I've been playing Mario since I was a child. I've been playing Zelda since I was a child. And here I am now still looking to play that. And this is what Xbox sees. Xbox sees that gamers grow up and gamers show their children what they have an affinity for before the other. And this is what Microsoft has to battle. That's why I don't disagree with him when he says we don't just drop good games and everything changes. What would have changed is if Sony didn't go talking about what they were supposed to talk about behind closed doors. But I ain't gonna lie, I probably would have too, man. I can't make exclusives without this game, man. So whatever I do, I got to make sure this game stays on my platform. But there's a reason why Microsoft was only offering 3 years instead of 10, because they ultimately wanted this game to be an exclusive. Right? No matter what they say about the money, you're not in this business to keep losing. Right? They're on PC and cloud because the console is not doing what they wanted to do. You think Nintendo is caring about the cloud? Nintendo doesn't care about the cloud. Nintendo has people who want to sell games on their platform making games in the cloud. It's not Nintendo trying to be in the cloud. They could care less about the little $60 service, $60 a year service, you know, how it does, because their games are selling 50, 40, 30 million every drop. And that's what Microsoft sees. And that's what Microsoft wants to go with this. They want more visibility for their games. They want to be able to drop four of the same games in a year, and every last one of them hits 20 million. That's what they want. Or at least now, since they've changed the metric, have 20 million people engaged with that game. That's what I think Microsoft sees, and that's more of what they want to do, as opposed to trying to sell as many exclusives as they can without being able to necessarily sell the amount of consoles as they need to hit their goals. Because this whole PC thing, that's just a bonus. Like, they're supporting PC, Windows is PC, but the PC players were ignored for years, at least 15 years. People moved away from PC because of piracy concerns. So they're like, this is why I don't understand why people create Twitter narratives around Steam. Steam PC players never been checking for console games, because once those games left the PC, they had to find other games that never left. That's why you got them playing the CS:GO game for all these years. It looks like something from back in 360, probably before 360, but these guys are still playing it. They have all the games that they have games already. They're not checking for the newest Xbox and PlayStation games. So bringing up like Steam numbers, no, it doesn't make sense. Call of Duty is just for 2 years. It wasn't on Steam before, right? Because Activision, Rockstar, they all had their own launchers. Piracy has always been a concern, and these guys have already found their own games, their own pocket to sit in. But yeah, they can be far more PC gamers, but what games are they looking for? What games are they looking to buy? It's not console games, because console games haven't always been available. If they wanted those games, they would have bought a console so that they can play them. So that's why I think that, you know, and he addressed you know, keeping console as a priority. We're the most loyal. I think that they understand, you know, they're gonna find some success. Some people that want to play their games, but the majority of people that want to play their games are going to be on console. But it benefits them right now to be everywhere, so that more people can access these games. Just being on console, and last year, what they sold 50, however many they sold, no matter the reasons why they didn't hit 80 again. That's what happened. And you had several good games that were overlooked because they weren't on the more popular platform. That hurts Xbox in so many ways. So they need to create a popular platform, and that popular platform is Game Pass. You know, Game Pass right now has, okay, I guess if the numbers are to be believed, Xbox has 20 million consoles, PlayStation has 30 million consoles, but there are 30 million Game Pass subscribers. So that platform in itself is one of the more popular platforms, and that's what Xbox needed to do. They needed to create a new lane and play a different game, because just trying to go head up with those consoles was not going to work. Right. Because we can. Oh, you're talking to somebody else.
My boy over here doing his job. Listen to him.
Oh, I can hear. Okay, so that's myself that I hear. But anyway, yeah. So they had to create their own popular platform, and that's where we are right now. So you've been listening the whole time, man. I thought you were just zooming back and forth. Man, you've been gone for longer than 5 minutes too.
You know, I like to get you, but man, because listen, realist, like I said, brother, we brothers. I know you, man. Like I said, you've always, you know, there's only two people that have come out of my comment sections, and that's you and that's Fireboss. I met y'all that way. That y'all are only the two people that I met that way. So I know y'all's passion. I know how y'all like to talk about video games, you know. And but with you, man, you're a straight shooter. And look, like I said, this is a show that's gonna say things. And like I said, since we're so invested in opinions, let me just say this. I hear a lot of people out here, right, that don't like me. They don't like me. You know, I pick on the PlayStation community a lot. Hello, my name is The New Legal, and I'm guilty of picking on the PlayStation community on Twitter. Okay. That's nothing new about me, but I have fun doing it. I enjoy doing it. It's not anything personal. I don't, go and attacking people. Nobody's ever seen me. I don't troll. I don't go around on people's posts and troll them all day. That's not what I do. Actually, what I do is very easy. I just stay in my lane, and I post things about Xbox and PlayStation. That's it. Most of the time when I post something positive about Xbox, I'll get some angry, PlayStation fans that want to rebuttal what I post. And that's just common in the space. We understand that. I know there's people that just don't like me. They don't know. It's just that they just don't like me. All right. So when I bring up like the influencers, and we hear the people that bring up the Colt Eastwoods and the Paris Lilies and stuff, but it's because, man, people have noticed how they lie, right, over and over and over again. It's not about opinions anymore. It's just saying lies. So we have to acknowledge lies. It's not about who's cool with Phil Spencer or who's not, right? It's just saying what it is. If the same person has a track record of saying something is great and the game is broken, this is the same person that said Cyberpunk is great, but you got to understand his position. He was in a position where, they're letting me have something to do with the video game. So what else could he say? He couldn't, that's where I'm at. What else could he have said? Let's just be honest. All right. So when you fast forward that up, Redfall is great. It's the same thing. Redfall is great. We get the same situation. Killer Instinct situation. At some point, we have to, if everything is going to be thrown at Phil, then everything's got to be thrown at everybody else. At some point, everybody has to take accountability. Everybody. But it starts at the top, right? To act like real Xbox people don't exist just because they're in the lower regions would be a horrible accident. Because it's the lower regions where you'll find your realest people. The realest ones are at the lowest totem pole. They're not up there at the highest totem pole. That's when you start becoming a puppet for the PR industry. That's when it becomes puppets and the puppet master. But the ones that are at the very bottom, they have nothing to lose. They're spitting from the gut, shooting from the hip. It's something that we as people just understand. When we're looking for something real, we're not going to try to go where the masses are at. We're going to go where, we think that the people are at their most nothing to lose state, put it like that. And so when they say stuff like this, you would think that Microsoft would pay attention. People are not just saying this inside of our own community. It's different if you see it coming outside of your community, but when it's inside of your community, you gotta pay attention to that. Everybody gets it. Nobody is off limits when it's social media. So everybody gets it, realists. It's not just realists. You've been picked on. It's not. It's everybody. But the measurement is based off of what people say, the consistency of what they do. There's no space in heaven that can articulate the level of stupidity that goes on in that place. You can't hide it. There's, we got so much when they say the internet is undefeated, when we say the never forget moments. I don't know if they're not paying attention to that type of stuff, That stuff was created inside your community. We have never forget moments because we don't ever want to close our eyes and then one of these same people that have been caught talking stupid before fools us again. We're no longer letting the Ron McCaffeys fool us no more. That's why you see so many people talk about it. We're no longer, look, I mean, you got to look. It's old. The tune is old. But then when they get around you, you know, they know how to get in their line. They know how to get in their lane. They know how to salute right. But they can't hold that posture up outside your presence. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not a, whoever thought that, you know, you be different in another aspect than you would be in the same presence. Whoever thought that was a good look for Xbox failed, because it's not a good look. If Microsoft is letting anybody represent them, then that's what they should represent. I remember when you told him that specifically. You said, you know, it's the reason why a person would think about that about you is because you're the one representing Xbox. That's just was simple. It was simple, Rose, when you said that. If somebody that didn't know you would think that you're Xbox One, you know, you're leader one for Xbox. Because when they go on shows, you guesting somewhere. You in the mix. Now we know that, hey, this is all about friendships. We get it. We know that there's going to be people that don't like people. We get it. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about just the respect of being truthful in the community. There's not a lot of places that that real Xbox fan can go to outside of the people that know them. Once we step outside the people that know them, we really don't have that many more places to go. So we look at it like, man, if Microsoft, right, part of the Xbox division ain't taking that seriously, then why should anybody take it seriously? It's not hard to see the BS. It's not. It's right there in our faces. It's not hard to see the BS. But it's easy to pretend that you don't on social media. So when you got somebody like the realest one, Microsoft, that's speaking out from his heart, from his mind, you need to pay attention to that. Because realist ain't got nothing to lose. Ain't got nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? What do you got to lose, realist, for being truthful? You're just being truthful in your own right. Now, if you came up to me, realist, and said, listen, man, don't take me serious because I don't take myself serious, then why are you talking, right? That would be the question. Then why are you running your mouth? Why, wherever I see you, you got something to say? If you actually said that. Like, that's what gets me. I know that it's been told that if you step your game up, you're just clout chasing. We know. We understand that. But let me tell you something. None of those same people that said that about you has wrote these laws in stone. They're not etched somewhere that can't be erased. They're not even etched anywhere. That's just something they told you. We've been through this. When you speak up, 50 million of their protectors come and try to ridicule you. We know. We know. We've been here. We've been out here. So we know. We know how it goes. If one Xbox guy comes out here and stands tall, 50 of them, if you call them out, you know, come on. We know who they are. We just saw them, the Jeff Grubbs, the Jazz Gordons. We seen them. We seen them. We know who they are. Ones who just pamper, who just put on the Pampers for all this silly stuff all the time. We don't have nobody keeping it real when it comes to Xbox. There ain't nobody. It seems like everybody's got more questions than answers. We running around asking Phil Spencer questions. Like Phil created the game, realist. They got him. They interviewing Phil like he was one of the developers for Redfall.
Yeah, but it's assumed that he has all the answers. I don't know if like a lot of people remember. That's why I ask a lot of people. I lead a lot of conversations with, did you watch Power On? Because I know Phil Spencer is not Bill Gates, but when Bill Gates went into their studios and found out they had actual artists. He's like, we have artists that works here. This goes to show you that there's a hierarchy, a chain of command for a reason. His management teams are supposed to be reporting to him, you know, progress and things of this nature. But he's not going to have all the answers because we're expecting him to know what's going on with the acquisition. He's not a lawyer. We're expecting him to know everything that goes along in the development process. I know that he's had some experience in the past, but if he's not on that team directly interacting with them, he's not going to know everything. He's not going to know everything, but since this is about Redfall, I guarantee you that they did it for a reason. And it's not because they didn't believe in the game like your boy Grubb said. Is that they need people, actual gamers, to give feedback on this game. All games cost something. And we didn't have this outrage for Destiny when it came out. It didn't have a story and you had to go find it with a Grimoire card. There are a whole lot of other online games that needed consumer feedback and actual gamer feedback. Now, what they need to do at this point is to not lose people, is to do it in a timely fashion, to make these tweaks, make these updates, and get these updates out in a timely fashion. That's where they are right now. But Phil is not going to have every answer as it pertains to Microsoft and Xbox. No leader does. That's why they have people under them. But this game had to come out. They gave them a delay. This game was in development before Microsoft had it. So I guarantee you there's a lot about this game that he doesn't know. How the game's being made and the development process. He's not going to have it all. He's not going to have all the answers. Booty's not going to have all the answers either. A lot of people are calling for Booty's job too. They're just not. They're there to get projects going. Well, I'm not a big fan of, you know, over legislation and trying to create new jobs, but that might be something that they have to do, you know. But there's not been an online game that I can think of that came out finished, ready to go, didn't need any huge updates or patches. Now, the graphical things, they probably could have fixed those, and I want to see how long it takes them to do it.
Realist, what's your track record dealing with Bethesda? Mine's are Wolfensteins, and my Arcane. I beat Deathloop. I'm playing Redfall. What else? I didn't do the Dishonored, but
see, all those are not Bethesda. All those games are not Bethesda though. Like there's ZeniMax that owns. You named Arcane, you named Machine, you named id. Like all those games are not Bethesda. But like this is Arcane and
right.
Arcane Austin. If this, I'm going to applaud them for trying, man. I'm going to applaud them for stepping outside of their comfort zone, whether it was told to them, like some of the rumors say, by Microsoft, or whether they decided to do it all on their own. They did something that was outside their comfort zone, and we should be, you know, we don't owe them anything. All right. But as a gamer, I appreciate them stepping outside their comfort zone. But as far as my experience with Bethesda goes back to Daggerfall, then to Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online. I played Wolfenstein, which is Machine. I've played Rage, which is
speak on it. Yeah, all of those.
Avalanche and Avalanche. That's not id. Avalanche and shoot, but whatever. It's under Bethesda. What else?
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
Deathloop,
a lot of great games, bro.
Deathloop, Ghostwire. I haven't completed Ghostwire, but I mean, it was a good time and a bad time for me to finish it on Xbox. But I played it on PC, on Epic. That's Tango. Evil Within 1. So, but just sticking with Arcane, you know, Arcane makes good games. They make stylized games, and a lot of people I've seen people complaining about the hands. I don't even tell us you're not an Arcane fan without telling us anymore, because there's just too many out there, and I can't stand that people out there. They just want to be a part of the conversation so bad that they'll say anything and nobody checks them. But there's just too many idiots out there for me to check them all, and I just gave up.
And realist, if it's true, right? if it's true what Phil Spencer said in that interview, that no matter what we do, right? No matter what, because you got to pay attention to this stuff, man. When you really start thinking about it, it's hilarious, right? So if Phil Spencer told everybody, especially doing the interview, so he was talking to those three guys, right? And he says, no matter what we do, if we make big title after big title after big title, to think that that's going to just all of a sudden put Xbox at the top, to destroy another console to put Xbox at the top, that's not realistic. So my thing is this. If that's not realistic, then what have they been doing this whole entire time? So you got to pay attention to what people say. So if Phil Spencer actually said that, then that means the gaming media and everybody else, right, has been wasting their time all of this time. They've been making up something that just truly cannot be done, right? They're demanding things of Xbox. It's a fake glory. It's a fake demand. So it goes back to what I was saying. The real Xbox community only expects Microsoft to achieve with Xbox based upon what they said. It's not anything else. We're not caring about anything else. We're not caring about console sales, because if we cared about console sales, none of us would own one. It's about the community. It's about the funfair. It's about the ergonomics of the controller. It was about the menu, right? It was about how we watched our digital content. This stuff goes deep, man. It's the messaging. It's the party chats. It's the groups. It's the clubs. You can't get that nowhere else. Man, this stuff has been built long ago. And the good memories and the good times is what we hold ourselves knit to. Man, the thing that I heard Steve today, man, shout outs to him for saying, man, I've been playing Redfall with legal. Now we know how this thing goes, right? It's all preschool around here and middle school around here. Some of this stuff is high school. People get mad at people for playing with people they don't like. We know how it goes around here. It's silly, right? But he gave me a shout out. I don't remember who the other guy was, but the other guy came in there and said, man, I've been looking for somebody to play with. Can I join you guys? Out of the blue. And Steve was like, yeah, man, you ain't got to ask. If you see me on and you're one of my friends and I'm playing, there's a spot, join the game. That's the essence of Xbox gaming. That's the definition. The definition of Xbox in its community ain't what you see on Twitter. It ain't in these influencers. It ain't about that. The true essence of Xbox is it's its gamers at core. It's what we do with one another. It's how we associate ourselves with one another. It's how we play these games together. It's how we talk about our games. But it's once we stepped off of Xbox, man, and we got into this space, we found out, man, the atmosphere ain't set for Xbox. We've literally had people who work in the gaming industry say they don't even know why Xbox is in gaming space. We don't need them there. We got people like this. We got articles saying it's time for Microsoft to just shut down Xbox. But come on, man. We don't even say that about PlayStation. I don't say Sony needs to shut down. I don't ever say no stupid stuff like that. Because with me, I'm just like this. It's simple. If you like a company that's been caught over and over and over and over and over again in lies, right? That's been sued all over the place, and you still want to support something like that, that's you. I don't have nothing to do with that. Just don't come out here trying to make it seem like that's cool to do that. It's not cool to be dumb or silly or conned, because that's what Sony does to its fan base. It cons them. Phil came out and said it, man. We can't fight against this block, because what people don't understand, realist, is that once you cross the international date line, rules and regulations are different in other countries. You can't make different countries agree to what you do in your country. or on this other side of the globe. That's what people don't understand. Microsoft can be this big tech giant, but they can't change laws in people's countries. These blocks that are happening with Xbox, they've been going on for years. So if it was a bad thing, you would think that something would have been done about it. But for what we see, it looks like it's all legal. They can do these things. If this is their form of competing. So this is why the CMA decision is a direct threat towards stuff like that. This is why Microsoft had to buy studios. People don't understand this. They have to do this if they trying to expand their business. It's not because they're trying to get over on somebody. When did you ever hear Microsoft as a company tell somebody, right, as a company, tell another group, right, tell a Nintendo group that you want to play this game, buy Xbox. You want to get this skin, you got to buy this on Xbox. You want to get this, buy Xbox. That's not the Xbox way. That's not the Xbox attitude towards gamers, just because you prefer to play on something outside of Xbox. But the thing that Xbox has to understand is you can't make mistakes. Can't make mistakes out here. Once you start doing too good, the industry gets upset. See, the industry is mad because it can't fit its narrative about us. It can't say we don't have games. You stop acting like they ain't told us this. We've had IGN make fun of us all last gen. They made articles about it. Oh, over here is PlayStation. Over here, black. Xbox black. I mean, when are we going to stop pretending? So when a strong Xbox fan comes out and stands tall, he's the weirdo. He's the fanboy. Like, there's a whole lot of stuff that got to be changed. And there's a whole lot of stuff we got to be honest about. But to sit here and pretend that we need influencers, that we need voices out here, that's false, man. We've always had each other. There's intelligent gamers right in this chit chat community that can talk and have a decent conversation in communities, and they're just gamers because they know their games. You know, Microsoft, start putting Xbox fans, get a show and do some talks with regular Xbox people, just real regular customers. You know, make your shows again. There was nothing wrong with XO. You done got away from all of that. We don't do nothing over here no more. There's nothing. We ain't got no magazine. We don't have nothing, man. So we're doomed to hear from these YouTubers that ain't all in on Xbox, right? Because like you said, their job is to tickle their audience that they know they got. They can't go too hard with Xbox because then they're gonna lose subscribers. So what their excuse is, realist, I gotta be critical of Microsoft. That makes me real.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Because the only real gamers are the one that give PlayStation props too, right?
Right.
You know that all the PlayStation fans love all of the Xbox, so-called Xbox content creators who are critical on Xbox.
Right. But what they're critical about don't make no sense. That's how you know when you listen to them, they don't make sense. You see what I'm saying? What they're being critical about. Because look at today's show. They had to be taught about how delays work. How delays work, man. How are you around Phil Spencer? You don't know how delays work. This is the first time you ever popped a question like that around Phil? Man, if think about if any of us got a chance to get around Phil. Man, we'd be like little kids asking all kinds of questions, man. The guy's been around gaming for 30 years. He knows gaming. And then I'll have all kinds of questions to ask him, man. And you telling me you don't know why a game gets delayed? You don't know the aspects of why games get delayed, realist? This is crazy.
So you saying they asked Phil and he said he doesn't know?
No, they asked him. And he explained it. He explained the reasons why they delay a game and why.
Oh, so you're saying
Redfall
those
was delayed.
asinine they had to explain it to so-called media members?
Bro, you wait till you watch it, bro.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Well, I mean, I watched it. I listened while I was playing Redfall, and I guess I was having so much fun.
Redfall was more interesting, huh?
That I was half there because I heard what I thought I wanted to hear. You know, I didn't know that they asked him about a delay. I mean, we all know, right? We don't know the specific reason, but it could be anything. We know the reasons. And I guess they just, you know what, sometimes people want to talk to people who are quote unquote important, but they don't even know what to say. They don't know what to ask. And so I know you've seen like so many like Russell Westbrook shorts, right? They ask this dude the dumbest questions.
Right.
But Phil can't say, what? See, Phil can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You know, he can't just get up and leave like LeBron James does when they ask him dumb questions about his teammates. Like he's going to slander them or something. Right. You know, so I guess, you know, that goes with the territory and he's trained. They weren't going to trip him up on anything. And he came in there basically, you know, laying himself at the altar as a sacrificial lamb. You know, I'm overpaid. I'm this, I'm that. And of course, the PlayStation fans, they ate it up.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the Xbox fans who are pandering to that crowd, or the Xbox branded channels, they're pandering to that crowd, and you know they're gonna say what they need to say to maintain that viewership or interest, but they don't know what to ask. They don't know what a real Xbox fan would ask. Phil, you know, we would be asking about the games they showed us about. Is it possible that we might get a timeline on these games?
Right.
When it comes to management, would you say that there are any management issues? Are you experiencing growing pains with this expedited expansion that you're undergoing at Xbox? So with that, have you been experiencing any growing pains? They're not asking the questions that real Xbox fans want to know. They're asking things about Redfall when we're playing Redfall.
Right.
All right. I'm on. If I get on the Xbox, I'm not playing on the Xbox right now. But if I go get on the Xbox and go find the LFG, there's like 190 people trying to find people to squad up with. Now that's something that we shouldn't have to do. They should have matchmaking in the game. But I'm going to assume that it's going to come later. They're not asking the questions that we want to know because they don't speak for us.
You know why? Because they consumed in what the media narrative is. So when they were talking to him, remember that's how they presented the show. It's been a long week. A long week about what? About what everything was going on the social media network. See, so they came at him like that. They didn't come at him like they could think for themselves. They listen. Stop listening to these liars, Phil. Like this ain't what the Xbox community is feeling like. I know that's what was said to you, but no, it's not. Look, you're hearing it. You're hearing it from people. You know, Redfall, it has its frame drops, but overall after that, it's a good game. You're hearing it. You're hearing what the main gripe is. I put it out there the first day. I ran a 4 co-op play. The worst thing that happened on that four-player co-op play demonstration was that we lost connection twice. Other than that, we didn't have no mess ups. There wasn't no, tears, lagging. There wasn't none of that stuff.
It needs some work. But I was laughing at Cypher, bro. Cypher said Saudi needs to say you have my support, go wreak havoc and stir it up.
Right. I mean,
look. I think they need this acquisition to go through because it's not Phil's demeanor. This acquisition goes through, you know who he's gonna unleash? Lulu.
Lulu,
let Lulu do these interviews. Lulu cussing and everything.
Right.
Let Lulu go on these interviews and see if they can ask these dumbass questions without getting some blowback.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned Lulu because she's something that she speaks the language. When you hear her and how she explains things and how she reveals things, it's relative. Now, I'm not saying that Phil Spencer ain't relative. What I'm saying is they keep him up at a place where it seems like, if he, it's like we hear the PR situation, and it irked me when he said that. When the guy from was talking about the interview, and he was like, Halo Infinite came out like it was a big mess, and he was like, I was just waiting on the PR to tell me that he wasn't going to come on the show. So we know that PR has a big power arm. We know this. But see, Phil's job is not to act like the streets. That's not his job. Nobody's expecting Jim Ryan to act like that, right? Nobody's expecting Bowser to act like that. It's not his job. But I just think if that show is going to be critical, right, everybody, about Phil Spencer and his lack of transparency, or he doesn't communicate enough. Okay. Phil spend more time looking down at the bottom feeders, because their top feeders ain't being honest with you. They kind of wait for Xbox to mess. This is when these empires make the most. When Xbox messes up, Phil. When things are going great, they don't make the most. This is why they start getting grumpy. They're looking for Xbox to mess up. You see what I'm saying? When that happens, then their empire rises. This industry don't like Xbox, and that's fine with me, because I'm not here to make the industry friends. I'm not here to say, hey, this person's cool, this person's not, or oh, this person don't like me. So I'm here to enjoy my Xbox community and play games with people who want to play games with me. That's what I'm here about. And then we come in here, we come to talk about gaming like we've always done almost all our lives. We're nobody special. I'm not here to make you worship me. I'm not here to make you bow down. I'm not here on Patreon. I'm not here to ask you for money so I can pay the bills. Bro, I'm not here for all of that. All right? You should be able to pay your bills. As long as you've been on YouTube, why are you asking people to pay your bills? Not paying your bills, bro. You're a grown-ass man. Pay your own damn bills. That's your platform. Pay them. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me to pay your bills. I mean, it's getting to the point where that's what's more important. Who has a channel is more important than what we're doing in our community. You got people actually thinking that. They go on Twitter and ask you, if you don't like what they say, block them. Like you really care about what they just posted. They really think that you care that much. Bro, and the point is, we're not even paying attention to you. It's not about blocking what you say. Bro, what you doing ain't even relevant anyway. So, I mean, that's the kind of people we have out here. People think they somebody. If you're on the internet thinking you're somebody, then that tells us what you are in reality. And if you're looking to have conversations with grown-ass men on the internet, bro, that's spooky. Like, I'm not on Twitter to have conversations with you. I don't care if every post I make, you come in there and you got to say something. That's just part of the territory. You're not rattling my feathers. I mean, that's just what it is. If you want to look silly on Twitter for everything that somebody puts a post about, then knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. But everybody don't move like that. And the Xbox community needs to start talking out more. I mean, if you did the precautionary actions, right, to get yourself on Twitter, then you're just one more step. Like, speak out. You see the BS. All right, speak out. If you scared, say you scared. Because being scared don't do nothing good for our community. We don't need fairies out here, man.
If you're scared, go to church.
It's crazy out here. Got too many fairies out here running around with little magical wands. Come on, man. How many times y'all gonna keep talking about Dreamcast guy? Come on. Like, how many times? That's y'all's doing. That ain't my doing. Dreamcast guy. The guy's talking about a console that no longer exists, but he's bringing up Xbox. Dreamcast guy. He's talking about Dreamcast when Microsoft was helping Sega own that console. That's how stupid we are today. That's how stupid we are today. Makes no sense. You see what I'm saying? Makes no sense.
Illegal.
You're bothered by a community that don't buy games. President said that. Makes no sense. What are you bothered by? They don't play no games. What are you bothered about? You're going into spaces to listen to a dead community, a dead space community. Every last one of them ain't in there buying no games. You're going on spaces to be a part of a therapy session. Ain't nobody shooting like realists just saying. Can't nobody talk the field with real authentic questions. You know what I'm saying? They pulling there, they talking to him from what they see we're doing. But what do you feel? We're watching the interview. Forget what we're saying. What do you got to say? Because if ain't nobody paying attention to us down here anyway, who cares? Y'all the ones that got the show where it's got confettis and sparks flying and all this other stuff. Just to talk gaming? You need all of that just to talk gaming. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Then you get Phil Spencer on there, and his screen is no different from our screen. You know what I'm saying? There's no more tech. It's just the room that gets all the attention. The room is beautiful, but once it goes up on that screen, it's just a normal screen. You know, there's nothing else fancy about it. But to see Phil Spencer the way he was today, man, was a low point. It was a low point. Whoever, I don't know who felt like that was cool to do, but that was flat out stupid, man. It was flat out stupid. Flat out stupid, realist. That man didn't have to say anything, bro. If anybody had to say anything, it's the developers. Why are you not talking to them? Talk to them. They'll tell you what's up. It's crazy. But
Yeah, but
hey,
you know what I realized though, man. You know, I hadn't been playing that game a long time, right? But you were right, man. This is a game that they're gonna put out, and we're gonna see. But it reminds me of State of Decay, bro. They made State of Decay with vampires. Like, will they have to unlock new areas? Like once you stop the threat never stops. But the only difference is you don't have like team management. Like you don't have to manage the house. There's no house of people that get sad when the infestation gets too much to deal with. But man, you'll never run out of people to complain about if we're gonna keep complaining about these fake people, man. These people who are not here for Xbox. But you know, another thing is, man, a lot of that is Xbox's issue, man. Like, so what I want to focus on is just me, you know, is dealing with the people who are really here for gaming on Xbox. You know what I mean? The people who are really playing the games, the people who are really spending time on their Xbox, not the people who spend their time talking about it on the internet, because we're not gonna get anywhere as a community that way. You
That's
know what I mean?
It's gonna have to come
It's
down
about the
to,
games. It's about the games, and that's what it should. That's the only thing it should be about. And if you're not playing the games, what do we have to talk about? You know, and what I talked about earlier, it's like the media has succeeded in making people who should be playing games believe that they're media members. We're not media members. We should be playing games. We shouldn't be worried about, you know, development processes and things like that. Unless you're doing a blog, right? And if you're that guy and you're a girl and you're in media, then fine. But the vast majority of us who do all this talking, we should just be playing games. We shouldn't be worried about it. Now, I guess us and people who subscribe to YouTube, we're what I would consider hardcore gamers. So yeah, we do care more than most. But at what point in time do you stop and start playing these games? At what point in time do you start sitting down playing these games and give the game some time? I know some of us work, and then being on social media or YouTube is an extension. But man, we got to start playing games at some point. That's just the way I feel about this whole thing. not enough gamers out here, man. There's too many people that want to sit around and act like they're part of the media. Why don't us gamers start something where we can all talk about gaming? You know what I mean? But as gamers, not none of this fake stuff. It's been proven so many times we can't trust the media. You're always putting up pictures of like Kotaku and all these other people. It's like, man, haven't they already shown you what they're really about? Why y'all even giving them clicks? You know what I mean? But I'm for the gamers uniting and taking power away from these this broken media process that we have, because we do too much talking about things that don't even pertain to gaming. We got too many games out
That's
here.
facts. Too many games
It's too many
out here.
games.
What are y'all playing, man?
You in game?
Damn.
If you're in Game Pass, you got more games than you can stand, right? Hell, even if you're on PlayStation, go play those games in PlayStation Plus. They might be a little older, you know, but you got them. Go play them. But these dudes will spend time talking about how it compares to Game Pass instead of just going to play the game. That's the biggest issue I have with the gaming community as a whole. We're not doing enough gaming.
Well, real is it was been told to us that certain fan base don't buy new games, bro. So I'm at the point where that was that's kind of like where the dead end went. When you see something like that, and then we can't keep just trying to harp on it because we want to beat a community down. Okay, so now we know they're not buying games. Why are you wasting time? Like now it's back to, okay, well, that's it. All right, so we know they're going to be coming for Redfall. And you know, you got people that are like, they don't get it. They think that Microsoft is just doing this they're too dominant. They feel like, you know, if they don't mess up every now and then, that Sony, you know, is gonna fall off the map. You know, I mean, I don't know what it is with Sony. I don't know. But I know this about Nintendo. I know Nintendo has been playing this old strategy for a long time. And they have these games that are nostalgic, right? So their games just stay at $59.99. It don't matter. I don't care what it is, bro. You can't get a deal. And Microsoft and Nintendo just knows this. And that's what they do, right? Sony, on the other hand, it blocks games. It's cheating their fan base. It's doing all this other stuff, right? Then you got Microsoft that comes out and actually gives a service that gives you more games. Put your exclusive day ones on there. You don't have to buy that. That's doing it basically out of the fun. They $2 trillion, bro. They're not hurting for money at all. You know, they damn near, I mean, the billions of dollars they make in a month is ridiculous. They're like almost $15 billion every month. It's crazy, like the stuff that they make. They don't hurt for nothing. It's crazy. What was that? The one time when they bought ZeniMax, they got all that back in 2 months and some. It is crazy when you think of the kind of money Microsoft makes. So they're trying to leverage out things. You know, they're trying to help people. Gaming shouldn't be a struggle, you know? Gaming should be a leisure. It should be fun. It should be something where that shouldn't be the stressing point for you to do, is to play video games. That's something that they believe in. So Game Pass was created. Okay, you can say, well, they created it because PlayStation is beating them in the console space. Okay, that makes sense. See, that don't make sense. Okay, but to any logical human being, right? Why would you stay in a place where you constantly get beat at? Holler at your boy, Realist, right? Why would you come and step into my ring knowing I'm going to knock you out every time you step into my ring? That wouldn't make no sense. Eventually, you're going to say, man, listen, I can't compete here. I gotta go down to a lower weight class, and I'm going to get in here where I can compete. So what Microsoft said was, look, there's more ways to skin a cat. For every one game that gets bought, that's it. If you pay $70 for a physical copy, that's it. They take the little split from that, that's it. But if I create a service and put hundreds of games on it, make some partnerships, get things rolling, right? Then I can sit here and maybe the community starts subscribing. Because let me tell y'all something. I've had Game Pass since day one. It wasn't always attractive like it is right now. I was there. When Recore the Definitive Edition, that was the selling point for Game Pass. I was there. But I look at what Game Pass is today and I say, amazing. I see little kids parents that can afford Xbox games for their children. That might be single home parents or they're struggling. And video games is the only way their kids can get any happiness during the day. Hey, I was that kid. Gaming saved my life a few times. Kept me out of the streets. Gaming was that one positive place where I could compete, where I could get my name out there. Gaming does some beautiful things for kids. It can boost your esteem. It can form little clubs for you. You meet new friends. I hear Microsoft all the time say there's not a media space that allows people to connect around the world. We hear it. So let's get off the things that we know. Let's stop pretending things that we are when we're not. Microsoft, I don't have all the answers, but I know this PR bullshit that's going on and these influencers that are going on, and that shit ain't working. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. Y'all don't have the right lineup. You don't have the right lineup. It is what it is. You ain't gotta agree with me. I'm saying my opinion. That shit ain't working. You want to know the honest truth? Go to your fans. Your fans shouldn't just get a fan fest day. Shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be scared to hold down your fans. Who cares if they call them fanboys? Who cares? Because those are the ones that are committing to your brand. You got people out here smiling in your face and then go out here and say some stupid shit about your brand. And if y'all think that's cool, then you're never going to get out of this situation. Because guess what they going to do? When the shit hits the fan, they going to side with the media. Because y'all built these robots, right? You built these influencers to feel like they something special. So they're not gonna put themselves in jeopardy to lose all that fanfare. Nah. They're gonna hide behind that code. I have everything. I'm a real gamer. That's that closet that you could go into. But I guarantee you, don't pull that rap sheet out. Don't pull that rap sheet out. Guarantee you they're not who they say they are. Guarantee you. Anybody can put on an Xbox hat. Anybody can put on some Xbox gear and call themselves, I'm an Xbox fan. Go out there and get an Xbox podcast. Get in some spaces. But there's a language that belongs to Xbox. And that's how you can't fool a real Xbox gamer. It's in the language. Chit Chat community, thanks for allowing me to speak today. Realist, thanks for coming along and holding me down, bro. Shouts to Six Layer for holding down the Chit Chat community for us, brother. He's a part of this unit. Shout out to Game Serials that was in this unit. Shout out to Afterboss that's a part of this unit. All right? And then I'm going down the list today, starting at the top, realist, because the Chit Chat community knows what they mean to me, bro. They are my first ones, bro, that held me down when nobody else held me down. And they go all the way back when I was on Mixer, bro. When all I could do, realist,
all right,
was speak through my damn little phone, right? When I have a guest, they would speak through my phone, and I would hold the phone up to the mic so they could at least hear.
You was bootlegging it, huh?
I was bootlegging it, bro. I came from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? From the straight bottom.
Got it out the mud.
Out of that mud, bro, like a catfish, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like a straight up catfish. So shout outs to JJ. Shout outs to Six Layer. Shout outs to Radiance 96. Shout out to Smitty Smith, the Lord of the Book of X. Shout out to Malik Weeks. Shout out to the lovely Dirt. Shout out to my man, the Soldier of Arms, Shane G. Shout out to Real Fry Rosario. Shout out to my man Taliban's. Shout out to Flint Dog, another one that'll call you jokers out, bro. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Outlaw Sean. Shout out to Louis Frag. Shout out to Israel Rulez, my longtime friend. Shout out to Daya. Shout out to the realest one. Let's see. Shout outs to, let's go down here. Hold on. Shout outs to my man, the General. Shout outs to, where was he? I just saw his name. Hold on. It was Mad. Where was he? Hold on. I ain't forget you. I'm going to get you. Now, hold on. I was moving too fast. Hold on. Other Zinc in the building. Hold on. Shout out to Other Zinc. Shout out to the realest 9-1. See, we got two realists up in here.
The realist.
Yep, the realist 9-1. Shout out to my longtime friend and supporter, JyzalGo6. Man, Radiance 9-6. Let's see. Rain G4 in the building, all the way from Atlanta. Keep going down here. Hold on. I don't want to miss nobody. They all deserve this. Let's see. Is that everybody? My man, Mr. Kima. The reason why I'm here. The reason why I exist. My brother from Dallas. Nene29 in the building. Let's see. Who else up in here? We gonna go down.
Yep.
My man, John Blue. Shout out to John Blue. Box in the building. Let's see. Who else? Getting down here, man. It's a lot. It's a lot of scrolling, but y'all worth it. Hold on. We're going to do this till I'm done. Y'all know how it is. Hold on. See if anybody else popped up in here. My man, Future Generation. Shout out to my man, Future Generation. Silver Afro. Shout out to Silver Afro. Uh-oh. Bad Juju 79. Shout out to Bad Juju. Almost getting up out of here. We getting up out of here, y'all. Let's see. Shout out to Hebot, the mightiest gamer in the universe.
The world's most powerful gamer.
The world's most powerful gamer. This is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Wait a minute. Shit's no elite, my man. My man, 50 grand. Let's see. Keep going. My man, Ashtray Gaming, brother. Shout out to Ashtray Gaming, a part of the elite guru community, along with Red Dead Pan and them, doing it big. That's that Australian New Zealand connection, the UK connection right there, y'all. Let's see.
Multiple timeline connection.
Right, multiple timeline community right there. Man, let's see. Oh, I'm about to say his name again. Hold on. Let's see. Keep going. Let's see. Man, thanks to everybody that came out, put up with us today, man. Just get yourself stuff. Just gotta be sad, man. Sekiro King Cypher in the building. You already know. Let's see. Wilkin in the building. My man Wilkin. Come on, we're moving. Let's see here. The Games Trailers in the building. Shout out to Game Trailers, another one in the unit.
Game Trailers reserves.
Yeah. My man After Boss. Yes, sir. I see you, bro, again. And that's it, y'all. Shout outs to Canada. Shout out to Australia. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to America. Shout out to everybody around here, no matter where you're from, no matter where you throw your flag up. Thank y'all for coming out. The realest one, the new legal, representing Di-RRec Gaming. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Always remember to keep it gaming. Chase the one up in life, man. Always grab it, hold it tight, maintain the action, man. Let nobody take it away from y'all. In the meantime, man, we're going to continue to give you the real. We came here to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us gaming. That's right, bro. So help us gaming. We're part of this beautiful community. If you like what we're about, please don't feel afraid. Come, welcome. You're right at home. You're right at home in the Green Emerald. You see it behind us. The Green Emerald streets. The fortress is made from the green gamma rays of the Incredible Hulk. Nothing can damage us here. We good. If you like what we're about, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Smash with that, make an elbow drop. Smash that like button. Shatter it to pieces. Never miss a show. Never miss a moment. And if you do, you know it's going up. And you can always leave some comments. Hey, we're not always right. We're not always wrong. But one thing we're honest. And we dedicated ourselves to, and commit, there's that word, and we committed ourselves to be honest with you guys. And that's all we can do. We don't ask y'all for no money, man. We don't ask y'all for nothing, bro, because we're just like y'all. This platform was built upon the spirit of somebody who enjoyed somebody coming up in their store and talk Xbox to them, who decided to pull in their deep pockets to come over to that person's house and build that computer in front of that person's eyes and tell that person, this is what I want you to do. Stand tall on Xbox. Don't waver, because I've been all across YouTube and I can't find one channel. You're going to be that channel and you're going to defy all odds. And as long as you don't sway, they will come. Knowledge, I appreciate those words. And man, did that prophecy come true. Thank you, man, for everything that you ever done. And look at us today. Look at us today, bro. We here. We here. And we out. Peace.
Peace.